Welcome to the Movie Draft Podcast. I am Ethan Sidney, and today I'm joined by three wonderful guests. First up is Jame Jirak.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Next up is Ryan McQuade.
It's spooky time, folks.
And finally, Adam Palcher.
Hey, thanks for having me back. Appreciate it. Excited to do this.
And today we are kicking off the two-part super draft that is the top 25 horror movies of the 21st century in a collaborative draft. This is a big episode. We've only ever done a two-part collaborative draft twice before, first for the MCU, and secondly for the top 25 movies of the 21st century, with each episode seeing differing amounts of success, I would say, is the best way to put that. So we're going to try our hand at this exercise again, because who doesn't love a little bit of collaborative chaos? And I will start this episode by just sharing and giving us a platform here, I think, to maybe set the ground, because we are recording this right now on September 12th. I feel like this is something that listeners maybe should know. If we do the wrong movies, it's probably because it's the middle of September and we have not entered spooky season yet. And I tasked all of you with coming up with this list very far in advance. How are you guys feeling about that? Are you, Jamie, you I know you're spooky season pretty much all the time.
Yeah, September 1st starts for me. I try from September 1st to October 31st. I try to watch at least 100 horror movies. So I'm already in it. So I'm ready. But I do appreciate that maybe some people still think it's summer. Okay. That's fine.
Yeah, I watched a couple of horror movies prepping for this. I will say we'll talk strategy and we'll talk prep and everything as we get into this. Ryan, Palcher, are you guys able to be in the spooky mindset? I do. This is me saying, like, I feel bad, and thanks for being a true friend by being here,
I mean, we're here. We're talking horror movies.
You don't have a choice at this point.
I mean,
right?
sometimes I see a movie and it is a horror show, but it's just because it's terrible, not because it's actually good. So.
Yeah, that was me. You gave me a jump scare the first time I saw you at TIFF, so I feel that.
Yeah. Well, I was just like, hey, it's Ethan. And I tackled him to the ground and
lived it out.
Luckily, they didn't throw me out of the country.
Thank God. What about you, Palcher?
Yeah. I grew up not necessarily being a very horror-centric person. I wasn't really looking out for Jason or Freddy when I was younger, or maybe I was just a little too scared or whatever. But I have been podcasting about movies since 2007, and my creative partner in this, he is an absolute huge horror buff. And so over those, almost 18, 19 years of podcasting together, I've really grown to love horror. I think it's a really interesting genre. It's a genre that no other genre can really you react to the same way, and it'll be really interesting to see how this list kind of comes out, because there's good movies with great scares, and then there's great movies that are great horror movies, right? Because just because something's got a good scare doesn't mean it's a good movie. So I'm interested to see what people attach themselves to and what is really stands out as the higher end of these. So, but yeah, I've grown to love horror movies, and really any genre that's done well is fun to watch. But my spooky season has definitely started already. Jamie, I think the reason people put up Christmas trees, in November 1st or even earlier. So
wait a minute.
I like Christmas time too. Like, I just like any excuse to have a theme. Like I'm a theme bitch. So so I think everyone do what you want.
I think that's great because, Jamie, the last time you were on this show was way back in episode 50. We are on episode 93 right now, and that episode was the Christmas movies draft. So you were here for Christmas. You're now here for Halloween. So welcome back. I'm really thrilled to have you here. Do you, by chance, remember any of the movies you drafted? Because I'm looking at your list from the Christmas movie draft. Pretty good, I will say. You didn't win, but pretty good.
Die Hard. I had to have picked Die Hard. Like,
you did. Yeah.
Okay.
So that was your first pick. You picked Die Hard.
That's just in my top 5 favorite movies. So that's going to get chosen any time I can pick it. But I don't recall what else I chose.
You got The Holiday in box office. You got A Muppet Christmas Carol in drama.
Oh, hell yeah.
You picked Jingle All the Way in comedy. You chose Black Christmas in wild card. And your unconventional was The Hateful Eight, which still pretty goated. Really impressive work on that draft.
Great. I'm really impressed with myself.
Yeah, you did good. You didn't win, by the way, but you did good nonetheless. Okay. So I'm glad to have you back. This is a draft that nobody will inherently win. So that's just not an option. Ryan, welcome back. You were last on for the 1997 movie draft. You're going to be on a couple more times throughout the year.
Sorry, listeners.
Yeah, unfortunately. I'm just trying to warn people ahead of time. We both just got back from TIFF not too long ago.
Yeah.
And we were at an after party for a movie talking about the draft pod, talking about when you're coming back, what things we're drafting. That's how important it is to you. So I'm happy you're here.
It is. I have a strategy to tease upcoming events that will rock the ship of this entire podcast. And I'm ready for it. It's not today. I'm going to be nice today. Okay. But
makes me really nervous.
There is a fury coming that the likes of which this podcast has never seen, and I'm ready to maybe end it once and for all.
Wow!
Take down this whole show in this enterprise. Wow! I think I'm ready to do it. I think it's time somebody did the real bravery around here and did something so bold that it was the right thing to do. So, but I'm excited to be here.
No, it sounds great. Yeah, it sounds like we're in for a treat. And it sounds like there's nothing spooky on the horizon whatsoever. I have no idea what you're
I don't
referencing,
want you.
So
I know, and I haven't told you what it is, and I never will.
Okay,
and
cool.
I think that's the best
great.
thing to do is to make you sit in alone in the darkness at night.
Yeah,
much like a horror movie, terrified of what's under the bed.
Yeah, well, that's now how I'm living. So I hope this pod goes well as it can now that we've established that.
Are you scared?
I don't know. I am scared. I don't know when you're coming back right now, but this is great. Yeah, this is a great tease for the listeners. I guess just tune in every episode, see if Ryan makes an appearance.
Also, to be fair, with the orange beanie you had on, you do look like a piece of candy corn. So
thank you. Yeah,
so it does work out perfectly that we're doing a horror Halloween kind of thing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Really good compliment.
Yeah, I'll take a compliment wherever I can.
Listen,
honestly,
it's just an observant fact.
Need a yellow shirt, Ethan, and you would complete the candy.
Exactly, yeah.
The yellow and white striped shirt. It could be good.
Well, no, because you're the white part, so you just need
thank you.
Yeah. Exactly.
I just need the yellow stripes to complete the package.
There you go, buddy.
Adam, the last time you were on this show was for episode 45. So even before Jamie, you did directorial debuts draft over there. Right. You also did not win. I'm so sorry to bring that up again, that trauma. I
won the time before, so I feel okay about it.
Okay, good. So yeah, you've kind of shook out here. This draft, of course, unwinnable, but yeah, you were part of an auction draft last time for the directorial debuts. So that was pretty fun. I'm glad you're back here.
Thank you. Yeah, glad to be back in. I think 94 draft is what I ended up winning because I was able to score Shawshank and Forrest Gump.
Yeah. It's funny you mentioned that because you did also take the Shawshank Redemption in directorial debuts. So that seems to be where the money's at. We are drafting.
I'm so sorry. You won something by picking Forrest Gump.
For 1994.
That's a great call out.
The only one that's ever done that's Robert Zemeckis.
True. You had in the 1994 draft, you had the Shawshank Redemption. This is the draft that you did win. This is correct. So the Shawshank Redemption, you had Forrest Gump, you had Leon the Professional, the Hudsucker Proxy, Clear and Present Danger, and Natural Born Killers.
Yeah. So
all bangers and Forrest Gump. But it amounted to a win. So there's that.
Yeah, no, that's correct. Yeah, Forrest Gump.
The hateful Forrest Gump out there. But I was playing to the crowd, and guess what?
Got to play to the crowd. Forrest Gump and the Shawshank Redemption not eligible for this draft because we are drafting horror movies here today.
I think Forrest Gump counts. It's horrific.
We'll see if somebody plays it. Honestly, we're gonna do the top 25 horror movies of the 21st century, part 1. Meaning we're gonna do spots 25 through 13. We kind of all talked a little bit about our preparedness for this horror draft. I do have kind of a follow-up question that I want to toss out real fast because we've done this before, the top 25 movies of the 21st century. It's kind of a lot of pressure to make the first half of the list because there are a lot of things at play. We kind of talked a little bit before we started recording, Jame and Palcher and I, about the pressure of if something doesn't get played in this draft, it either doesn't get played at all or it sees the top 12. is that a risk we're willing to take by not playing it today? There's a lot of like strategy and moving pieces that could go into this. So I kind of just wanted to toss that out. Jamie, how do you feel about your responsibility to either get this right, put the right movies on the list, put them in the right spot? Do you think you're ready for that?
There is only one movie that's stressing me out, and I won't say what it is, but it is the movie that got me into horror when I was 12, and I really want to play it, but I think it deserves to be in the top 12. So I'm like, there's only one. Everything else like doesn't matter. It's this one movie. So when it gets to my final pick, my lowest pick, I'll make the decision in the moment, depending on what we've done. Maybe one of you will pick it, and then I'll just let it live. So who knows? But that's just, I have one movie that's really weighing on me.
Usually in the past, people with one movie that has like eaten away at their brain see failure the most prominently. I hate to break it to you, but it's because it's like the one movie that you're so hyper focused on, and if things don't go right. I have one movie as well for this draft in particular. I will also be on the part 2, the 12 through 1 spot.
Yeah,
so I do ultimately have the lucky advantage to be picking the most amount of movies that will show up on this list. Inevitably, they will still be wrong. But even with that advantage, I feel like this slate is harder to do than 1 to 12, because I was thinking about like 1 to 12, I could do like 5 or 6 movies off the top, and I'm not even really that big of a horror guy. So it's kind of this deeper level that I feel a little bit of pressure. Adam, do you feel the pressure as well?
Yeah, this back half is definitely harder to argue in place, as opposed to just seeing what was placed and then having the arguments of what the top 10 are or whatever like that. So yeah, I'm very interested. More than anything, I just can't wait to see who steals a Jordan Peele movie from Ethan. But no, so no, there's definitely a few that I think I could probably get on the back half that maybe people don't. I don't know. I'll be very interested. I have a handful of stuff, but you know, we really only get 3 or 4 movies here, so we got to be pretty precious with some of this. But it feels like if anyone's going to veto, it's going to be the guy who's on this part 1 as well. So we'll see what happens.
That's pretty unfair to put that on me so early. I will veto when I find it necessary. I will also bend the rules to my liking as I find necessary, as I do on most of these shows. Ryan, are you feeling good? Are you feeling the pressure? What's going on in your world?
Man, we're just here talking about some horror movies. There's no pressure at all, right? I mean, maybe this crew just decides to put all the best films in the back half and then sabotage the front half for everybody else, and make the listeners like really see who knew a lot about or had a lot of great horror films on one episode, and then we're struggle bussing for the second half. Like, you know,
so it's
maybe we have our own strategy. Maybe
front,
it's maybe the fact that it's 3 against 1 isn't such a bad idea in here.
When did this become 3 against 1? This is a collaborative draft. There are 4 people here to work
3
collaboratively.
collaborating against 1. That sounds about right. There's always, always, as Daniel Plainview would say, I have a competition in me, and it's always there.
It's always there. You're never going to outgrow it. Yeah, you'll never change out of it.
Exactly. No, nonetheless, I'm not worried. I think we're going to do a good job. I think everybody's got about like 3 or 4 probably films that they have. I will say, we did some exercises this year of rankings over at Awards Watch as a team, and to Ethan's point, like the top half, once you establish what that is, you then get to have a lot of fun in the back half of lists. So we don't know what the front half is, so it makes to everybody's point, like really you want to get your films in there to make sure they're represented, because there might be a chance that it's not in the other 13 films. But I sit here going like, listen, I just want to pick some really good movies and kind of fit them in spots that make sense. And I will spoil one thing, is that as we get on in the draft, that's where I value older films as opposed to newer releases. I'm one of these people that when you're talking about something in the top 25 of all time, a movie that's been around maybe around 20, 15 years means more to me as a film fan, as a horror fan, than something that came out last year, if that makes sense. regardless of even the quality. Just because I've had that thing with me longer, I've had those themes of the film, the filmmaker, their ride, whatever the case may be. And yeah, I'm gonna try to find a way to steal as many Jordan Peele films as I can. So it's
ultimately, I just would like another shot at redoing the Ari Aster, Robert Eggers, Jordan Peele collaborative draft, and maybe I'll just use this as that exercise because I feel like there's an argument for everything to be made there. And it wasn't ideal. We are recording this on the day in which that list has gone out on social media, and the reactions are
nice,
totally normal.
Calm.
Yeah, totally plain.
No, but nobody said anything rough to you whatsoever. You know, the internet itself is a lovely place, and truly, where we're all in harmony with one another, and really have never said ill will about anybody, or have not gone into a DM and seen a death threat or two in our time.
Of course. No, I have not been told to stop my podcast because I haven't seen one single movie that somebody really loves. That's totally normal.
Well, you should.
Reality,
but that's but
that's beside the point.
This is more of a nice gesture than a harmful one.
In reality, it's a lot of people that don't listen to the show that are chiming in on these collaborative.
It's just people that see lists online,
right? So they're just seeing a list, and to that I urge, listen to the pod because we want to strangle each other when we make the list, and then you just see the list, and that feels a little unfair for the emotional trauma that I go through. Or watch the pod, of course. Watch on YouTube. You can subscribe there. Okay, let's get prepared for this draft. Anybody watch anything, rewatch anything in preparation for this? I think there was some chatter in the group chat last night about like, cool, I've got one more night to maybe cram a movie or two.
I anybody do that? Said The Wicker Man, Nick Cage's remake, but that was obviously a joke.
Really a joke.
Okay.
I mean, maybe.
I may have to veto that if it gets on this list.
That is a movie I've seen a lot, though. Like, I would never put it on the list, but I have seen it a lot of times, which is worth. I didn't watch anything for this because I kept getting confused. I first thought it was horror in general. Then I thought it was just 25, and then I found out it was the back half of 25. So even if I had watched anything in preparation, it wouldn't have mattered anyway.
Yeah, I feel really bad that happened to you, but I got to be honest, not my fault. I put it in the notes that it was exactly what we were going to do. No, I'm just cleaning the air on my end because a lot of people give me the credit here of like Ethan really screwed this up. No,
I'm sorry.
I did okay this time.
I was a skimmer. I skimmed the information. That's what happened.
Well, you are among many who skim the information. So let's say you're in a big group there. I did watch 2 new movies in preparation for this draft, and I just want people to know. I want you all to know, and in hopes of rekindling the true collaboration here. I saw 25 movies in 6 days at TIFF, and on the flight home, I watched 2 new horror movies. I put in the fucking work for this show. Okay, there were 2 movies that I had a pretty good idea are of some relevance, whether that be the part 1 or part 2, yet to be known. But they're movies that I think are in the horror conversation a lot for 21st century. So I tried my hardest to be as prepared as possible for this show. Will I actually be prepared? I don't think so. Look, Ryan, I don't appreciate the condescension, but it's okay,
Listen,
we should draft.
Heroes are made every day. Right.
Right. It's taken me a long time. It's taken me almost 100 episodes to get here. So I finally learned you should probably watch the movies you're about to draft. Are we going to do the most important movies or the best movies? Like the most important horror movies of the 21st century or actually the best?
I guess you'll find out.
That's not collaborative, Ryan. That's not collaborative either, Jamie. What are we, guys?
Jamie and me are on the same page. We're getting it. Adam's on the same page with me. We're wild cards floating in the wind.
Yeah, you guys are like that plastic bag just floating in the wind.
We're like
American Beauty.
We're like an M. Night Shyamalan environmental movie. We're just floating in the wind.
We're gonna have a surprise ending.
Okay, yeah, surprise ending.
I'd like to say in terms of watching new horror movies, I just watched caught up in a bunch for Halloween Horror Nights, and I wouldn't put any of the things I watched on the top 100 of the century.
Whoa!
So just put that out there.
Oh, so things might not be what we think they are. Okay. Well, I think it's important that we do a list of the people. That's where my mind is at going into this. I think it's important we represent the interests of the people. And who those people are, don't know. They're out there.
The same people that are
commenting
commenting on your lists.
Yeah, exactly. Those are the people.
I'm not giving them any credit. No, the only thing that matters is the four people in this room.
Right.
And that's the only thing that matters. Like the
people.
Well, the four people in this room are tasked with making a collaborative draft. So whatever our strategy is going to be, whether it is like to win, to put your favorite movies on this list, or to work together to make a most important, a best, to set our part 2 up for failure or success, whatever it'll be, at the end of this episode, there will be one team standing, a collaborative board ranking the 25 through 13 spots of the best horror movies of the 21st century. As always with collaborative drafts, a special shout out to Screen Drafts, a wonderful pod that has influenced this draft layout here that we use once a month, sometimes twice a month here on the show, which is the case in October for spooky season. I'm going to quickly explain the abilities and the picks, and then we're going to spin the wheel of names and pick our drafting positions. You guys good with that? You guys ready to get into the technicalities?
Let's do it.
Let's go.
Okay. All right, so there are going to be 4 of us drafting 13 movies here. So drafter A is going to get picks 13, 17, and 21. They're going to get 2 vetoes to be used during the process of the draft. Drafter B is going to get, and drafter A, slot number 13 essentially acts as a number 1 here on this draft. So that is something to keep in mind as well. Drafter B gets spots 14, 18, and 22. They're going to get 1 single veto. Drafter C is going to get spots 15, 19, and 23. They're going to get a veto and the single veto override. The only stipulation with that is it cannot be used on your movie. So if you nominate a movie, it gets vetoed by somebody else. You cannot use the veto override. It has to be somebody else that steps in to play that. And then drafter D, they're going to get the most amount of picks with 16, 20, 24, and 25, but they're only going to get a single veto. So they're going to be the only person that gets 4 picks, but they're only going to have 1 veto, and they're all pretty low picks. Any spots you guys are hoping to get? Because you do get to choose. If your name is spun, you get to choose.
Oh, okay. That's important.
Yes.
I thought we were working backwards, and then just now I thought we were working forwards. So that's good to know.
So basically,
it's not a Christopher Nolan thing. This is a podcast.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to spin the wheel of names, and whoever's name gets chosen, you get to pick which drafter you want to be, and then we will go in that order, whatever that is. However, that
Ethan's picked first, it's rigged.
100%, because I don't want to choose what position I pick. So I agree with you on the rigged scenario here. So okay, I've been told that sometimes when I share this, it shares the audio. So I guess we're gonna find out if it does this time as well.
If it's any
and I think it does.
Sound effects, I do apologize.
Okay, so it looks like Jamie is gonna get to choose the drafter she wants to be first, and we'll hang on because we'll gonna spin for everybody else here. So Jamie, be thinking about what drafting spot you want to be. Come on, keep going. Tough beat. Not ideal for Palcher or I. So Ryan is gonna get to choose next. Oh man, I have a bad feeling about this. Cool. Ethan laughed. Ethan last rigged for sure is how that goes. So okay,
yeah, brother.
That's something that happened. Jamie, what are you going to pick first? Which drafter are you going to be? What spots and abilities do you want?
I really want the veto override power, so I'm going to be C.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Very cool. Noted. I will say the Aster Eggers Peel collaborative draft, famously the override was used in very dramatic fashion and has been used as of late, but a little infamously difficult to deploy. So I'm really curious if you're going to end up using it.
I just want the power.
You just want that looming over everybody.
Exactly. I might
totally
throw it away. Who knows?
Wow, that's a lot of power. Ryan, what are you going to be? A, B, or D?
I like a lot of power. So I'm going to take A.
Ooh, the double veto.
Because I also want not only the double veto, I want the closest film I can get to 12-1 And also, it will be the one last thing I can do to ruin.
Just really fuck over the other people.
Yeah,
cool,
exactly.
cool. I'll remember this. I mean, I'm on that.
Well, I know. You'll remember it.
It's a smart play.
Remember.
It's a smart play. Adam, you gonna go B or D?
I mean, since you have the whole front of the draft, I'm going B. You get the later picks there, buddy. I'm sorry.
Okay, it's not even that I necessarily don't mind the later picks. It's the fact that I have to pick 4 movies, and that's not ideal for me. I don't want to pick 4 movies. I just want to pick 3. So you guys really screwed me over on this one. Thanks. Appreciate that. That was cool.
Good job. Way to collaborate, guys.
All right.
Yeah, really good collaboration from everybody so far.
3
Will it
versus
remain? 1. Yet to be known. Okay, I'm going to fill out our board here, and that way we get all in order on our notes. Okay, Adam, you're going to get 14, 18, and 22. Okay.
It's like we're getting a bunch of numbers from Lost.
That's so good.
And
then Jamie, you're going to get 15, 19.
I like how you're typing it. You could have just control
23.
And copy and pasted names.
Too difficult, Ryan. Too difficult.
Or I mean, you're making it difficult.
I mean,
on
I
yourself.
have to talk to you and type at the same time. That's hard enough as it is.
I mean, one's a joy and the other one's just typing.
Okay, let's begin the top 25 horror movies of the 21st century, part 1, collaborative draft here on the Movie Draft Podcast. I guess I have to do that. That's not something I really wanted to do.
Yeah, you have to start. You're like, oh, we have to start this. And it's like, well, I guess it's me.
Okay, so my ill-preparedness is really striking a chord with my heart.
Wait a minute.
Right
You
now,
can't say you were ill-prepared and you were bragging 5 minutes ago about, I watched 6 movies. I watched 25 movies in
2
6 days,
movies, and they ended up being pretty good.
And I'm so prepared.
They're going to get played in the top slots, is my guess.
All right. Okay. All right.
Because I'll be honest. Okay, I'll be honest with you. Let's hash this out because this is spot number 25. It's important to set the tone. I watched one of these movies. It is a pretty renowned cult classic that finds its way on a lot of published lists that I just didn't like. I just am not on that cult classic level where I was just it's not good. So, do you guys think it's important that I see that through? Should I abide by the other lists, or because I don't feel good playing a movie I didn't like?
Absolutely not. If you don't play it, that's crazy.
Okay,
yeah,
no, okay.
You should like the movie that you play, and if we don't like your choice, that gives
you guys have the power. You can veto. Yeah, you guys have power. Okay, I'm going through my letterbox real quick. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There you go.
Okay, I'm going to start with a movie that I think will be hopefully non-controversial. This is a movie that I actually like and I think is important within the not only 21st century kind of oeuvre of horror films, but the A24-ness of everything. So I'm going to play Talk to Me at number 25 here. It's a movie about a group of friends that discovers an embalmed hand, and when they come in contact with that hand, they can see another world, a deceased world. Now, the movie's not perfect. I have my qualms with the films, but I think there's some really good things here that echo among what makes modern horror good. And I know we talked about recent versus non-recent. This movie came out in 2022, and that's why I played it here at 25, because I'm like, I feel like it deserves to be in the conversation, at least.
I was on your podcast to talk about this movie.
You were. Yeah, 24 minutes away, 24.
Yeah. I like this movie. I think putting it in the top 25 is insane, but I also am afraid to use my veto so soon, so I'm just gonna let that stand.
Ethan, just a quick question about the veto. If I veto a movie, it's just for that spot. Like, it could come back up again later, right?
That's correct. That is an important note. Now,
it doesn't veto it from the entire list.
Right. I'll dive into that for just a second, because Jamie and Adam had a similar question before we started recording. And I think it's important if listeners maybe don't think about that often. If you were to veto Talk to Me, I could just play it at 24 if I so wanted to. So you could burn a veto to see no success, or you could in fact scare me away and this movie never makes the list, or who's to say?
Okay.
But I'll tell you right now, if you veto this, I'll just play it at 24 because I don't have a deep bag for this draft.
Yeah, let him keep it.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's a great movie. I really enjoyed that one, especially for modern horror. Like Jamie was mentioning earlier, there's a lot of modern horror that sucks. There's a few things that are great, but I think that one stands out as one of the more solid ones. But if we're talking from the year 2000 to now, I can see why it would be off of most people's lists. So
it's a fine film.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. It's like
cool concept.
I think it kind of it's a great concept. I think the first half of it's actually really great. I think it kind of fumbles, like with a lot of modern horror. I think it kind of fumbles in the back half. But there's a moment in this movie. I think it's like when she tries to go into the brother's brain, and you see like the creature, and all the different like versions of the creatures inside like the subconscious of her brother, like eating and pulling him apart and not letting him go. Truly one of the more terrifying, nasty things I've seen in a horror movie. I wish the rest of the movie had the teeth like that to just go that far. But yeah, it's for a 25. It's actually probably not a bad place for it. But if it was any higher, I would veto the shit out of it.
Okay,
but it wouldn't be how
noted.
I kicked off this list though.
Noted. Yeah, I mean, people are probably not going to be very happy, but like, I don't have a huge bag for this draft. So like, I am trying to ultimately just like not fuck up is pretty much where I'm at in this collaboration. And you'll all set me straight if I do. So I have faith. That's my faith in you, my collaborative faith that you will all pull through and see that this list ends up working. Okay. Yeah. I like Talk to Me. I think part of the reason I wanted to play it here is
because you love their follow-up film.
Exactly where I was going with this. Their follow-up film is a 5-star masterpiece that I think should be hung in the Louvre. No, I think their follow-up film, Bring Her Back, is fucking terrible. I think it's really, really bad. And really horrible. I do think it's important for a myriad of reasons. And I think like the Falupu brothers, like going from YouTube to making movies, that's a huge social conversation happening right now. Like A24 horror movies, that's been a huge social conversation for 7, 8, 9 years now. And I do think there's a lot of reasons to put Talk to Me on the list because I think it's ultimately successful in all of those big conversations that we're having. Yeah, sure. Okay. Talk to Me. The first one has been played. Nice. Good job, guys. I feel really good about it. Okay. Now I have to do it again. Now I have to do it again. I'm not really thinking this is going to go well. Is there a movie that you guys are thinking should be in this zone that you're like hoping that I play? Ryan's saying
there are so many movies. That's the thing. There.
I know. There's too many.
Hundreds, thousands, even that could go on this list. So who knows what you're going to say? I'm going to guess it's something that came out within the last 5 years, knowing you. But
whoa, that's brutal. That's tough. Actually, okay. I'll see. I will
set you free. Even
there is a movie that if I would have picked in the spot, there's a movie that I would have picked either at 24 or 25 that I think is like a really good tone setter for this. I wouldn't consider it one of the great horror films, but I think it's an important film to have on a list. Okay. And it's great, but it's also a very entertaining film.
I will take all of what you said, namely what Jamie attacked me with, and I will raise you, and I will not nominate a movie in the last 5 years. And I will, in fact, nominate something that I wouldn't be surprised if someone here is like, that should be a little bit higher, but it's more of a safety net situation here. So I'm going to be playing, while not an entirely old film, a 2016 film, Julia Ducournau's film Raw. I'm going to be nominating that here. I think it should be this low because it is ultimately a horror drama and not really in the vein of what I think we're going to eventually get to with some of these movies as we proceed. But it basically just follows a gifted teen who is a vegetarian and finds her way to college and is forced to undergo the hazing that the college makes her do, and she eats raw animal meat and thus proceeds to descend into a ravaging, insatiable lust for human meat, and it's pretty fucking scary. in my opinion. So I'm going to put that here.
I just want to say, one, I want to apologize because I've said this before. I don't like to play games because it makes me mean. Games make me mean, and that's why I don't play them.
No, maybe I needed that, because everything else on my short list was within the last 5 years. So you were not wrong. That's the thing. You were right.
I have to tell you, I have not seen Raw, but from what I've heard, I wouldn't disagree with your choice.
Okay.
Yeah, I've never seen it either, but yeah, it's not even close to my top 25. But
okay, good. Okay. Ryan, have you seen Raw?
Yeah, of course I've seen Raw. Raw is it's a fantastic debut. Really, just the sound work in that movie too. It gets really under your skin in a way that very few directors can from the get go. I really like Ducournau's first two films. I love Raw and Titan. I've seen her latest film Alpha because I was at Cannes, and it is one of the worst films of the year. A truly
tough,
vile film because it is just a misery porn is the best way to describe that film in terms of just like wanting to just be miserable for 2 hours straight without any redeeming qualities whatsoever. So look for that in your Neon box set if you get that later.
Coming your way from Neon.
Coming your way.
And part of the reason I don't think I've seen it is because I'm not a gore person. Like when you try and scare me with gore, I would, to me, like it's kind of lazy almost. It depends on what we're talking about. Are we talking?
I think it's a little bit smarter of a film than like, you're just your typical sort of gore. I mean, like I think you can weirdly, trace Raw's success to then Revenge and then what we get with The Substance. So
totally.
I think that she has a lot to say in this movie. It's a great coming of age film commentary, which is crazy. Then in like, what did you say is 2016? In like 10 years, someone can lose the juice so quick. But it's a very, very good film. And probably on a more hoity-toity list, it probably would be higher, Ethan. I'm not saying that like as a slap towards you. I'm just saying like that's how like an IndieWire list would probably put it higher.
100% agree.
But it being representative is actually not a bad thing here.
Okay,
this is perfect.
Okay. Well, checks my box for female director and female led. So everybody coming after me. Well, I watch movies with women in them. I swear.
I mean, sure, but I mean, it doesn't mean. I mean, you can say a lot of things on mic, but then in your personal life, I spent a week with this man, and he had some really crazy views out there, guys.
Yeah, I was like, dudes need to make more movies.
Yeah, it was a lot of like dudes rock. He was hanging out with a lot of dudes. Energy. A lot of photos with dudes.
Totally.
A girl came up to him and said "icky," and he pushed her aside. It was some weird stuff. Toronto does some weird things to Ethan.
Well, hopefully Jame can steer us back on course here with number 23. You have the pick.
Yeah, I think my pick is going to be a little controversial because I think it's one that no one would have considered. But I do feel like I have to represent the girlies. I am the girl here. And I don't think there are many women horror fans who wouldn't put this on their list. Okay. And I also think we got to take it back. I'm going to take it back to the year 2000, as far back as we can go, and give it to Ginger Snaps.
Yep.
Ginger Snaps is one of my favorite movies. It's a great period movie for the girls out there. It's a great werewolf movie. There's so much about it that it's so funny. The imagery is great. It's a movie that I always will go back to, and the sequels are good too, although I wouldn't put either of them on this list. But it, to me, definitely belongs here among the fancier films.
Sure. I've had this on my watch list for a really long time, and I have heard that it is a pretty like renowned cult classic for sure, and it's something that I want to check out, and I'm stoked you put it on this list. I have no qualms with this at all.
I haven't seen this one, so that's two in the top 25 that I'm surprised I haven't seen it, but looks pretty wild.
That's not great. We've only done 3 movies so far, and you haven't seen 2 of them, Adam. This is not ideal.
I haven't seen this in like 20 years.
For me or you?
It's been such a long time, but I remember it being just a ride.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Jame, to your point, I probably wouldn't have considered it, but it's a fun surprise to have on here. And and actually, I didn't think that was the film you were going to go with. The way you were
Okay.
describing it felt like another film, which I think will be maybe on this list. It won't be on I pick, but I could see it being on this list. But no, I think it's a fun pick. I'm all for it.
Nice work.
Yeah. I think this is awesome. Great pick, Jamie. Adam, you have your first pick at number 22 here. We're 3 picks in, no abilities have been used, no vetoes, no nothing. Something to note. I always find that interesting how those shake.
No. All right. I have no idea if this will be controversial at all. It's just one that I love. It's one I've loved for a long time. It came out in 2007. It is originally from the King of Horror, Stephen King, but I'm choosing Frank Darabont's The Mist. From 2007. Okay. It is a monster movie. And like most great horror movies, it's really more about the people inside the building than it is the monster outside. It's the monster inside. This is a brilliant movie. So well done. And as you'll see a theme in mine, my favorite kind of horror movies are the kind that what you don't see on camera, because, what you see in your head is way scarier and fucked up than something you can show me, which is, it kind of relays into my gore comment earlier. Yeah, like gore can be good and it can be brutal and effective. But this one is just a solid movie. I have the Blu-ray and it has 2 versions on it, one in black and white and one in color. I highly recommend the black and white version if you haven't seen it, but it gives you a very Twilight Zone-y type of feel. But, you have Marisha Gay Harding as this crazy Christian. You got Thomas Jane, Andre Braugher. There's an awesome cast in here. But I think one that probably gets swept under the rug when people talk about horror movies, but one that I absolutely love. And you know what? Frank Darabont was on my last 2 drafts. Might as well put him on this one too.
It's got a 3.4 on Letterboxd. That's like pretty solid in my opinion.
I have not seen it since it was in theaters, and I remember not really liking it, but I don't trust my 17-year-old self because I have heard a lot of people praise this movie, and I feel like it's one that I absolutely need to revisit and would never veto because 17-year-old Jamie does not deserve veto power.
Right.
Yeah. You see things differently, even
yeah.
Later, so.
It looks like it's streaming on Paramount Plus right now, so that is something to note. Maybe I'll check that out, even though it'll be a lost cause.
Stephen King's short story, just like Shawshank and Green Mile and the other Darabont stuff as well. But Stephen King obviously knows how to do horror.
Nice,
good movie.
Cool.
Can I ask a question that I don't know this? If somebody's movie gets vetoed, then does that person pick another movie? Or what happens?
Yep, they'll have to pick another movie. Yeah, totally. Yeah, so they just can't choose what was just vetoed, and they'll have to pick something to replace it with, which is a real door A, later. Door B situation. Is it better? Right. Yeah, they could use it later. Ryan, you are up. You have spot number 21 here. Our list is just moving swiftly along.
Just moving swiftly. I'm going to pick a film that, it probably could have been a couple of spots lower. Not a shot at you guys. Just kind of like I said,
total stray, but whatever. It's okay.
It's not a stray. I don't know. If I was making this list by myself, I would put this a couple of spots lower, just at like 24, 25 in the Ethan range. But I've seen movies beyond the last 5 years.
Personal shot, but that's okay.
So
whatever.
Therefore, it goes up just a little bit higher. But I think that this is a very good movie, and I think the other thing is like I like a horror comedy and I like a horror commentary, and I think 2011's Cabin in the Woods is a perfect film to put in this spot, because I think that in this era of this time, it is a time capsule piece of the 11 years before, where horror seemed to be lost unless you found it in certain places. Like mainstream horror was remakes, reboots, and unoriginal ideas. And this movie decided to play on all those tropes, and I think kind of revitalize horror for so many people, in realizing that this is a medium that contains multitudes outside of just let's make the 900th Halloween movie or the 900, Texas Chainsaw Massacre or another Freddy Krueger movie, because all those things happened and they were just, it was really bleak times for horror fans. And I want to say this, we didn't get to mention this at the beginning, but this is the dominant genre right now at the box office.
Yeah.
This is the thing that moves the needle. Outside of, there's three things that does it: animated features, horror movies, and prestige films being put on premium selective formats, right? Yep. And right now, horror is, I think, the king. Though you can make these movies for anywhere from $5 to $40 million, and they can be 3, 4, 5 time multipliers if done right with interesting concepts. And I think Drew Cotter, while an interesting writer, hasn't been able to really top it since this. It's a really, really fun, wild movie that I think kind of needed to be represented in this area.
Yeah, I don't have a ton of comedies on here, but I do think it's an element of horror that can. This was one of the few that I considered to be in the top 25 because it does such a great job of kind of spoofing all the tropes that you see or you have seen throughout, history of horror. And it's absolutely funny as one of the best masturbation jokes ever in there. And just like, Joss Whedon has something to do with this as well, right? Like,
I try not to mention. Yeah, I try not to mention.
You did a good job skirting around that, Ryan. Really well done.
Some say the Olympics don't happen year round. You know what I mean?
But yeah, no, amazing film. Go ahead, Jamie.
I'm tempted to veto it only because for me this is the top 5. I love this movie. I'm not going to do it because I don't know who.
You should do it.
I don't know who these other people are.
Bump it up, Jamie. Let's go to the top.
I'd rather save my veto for a movie I hate over a movie I love. I actually have plans to watch this movie on Sunday because my friends and I have a long-standing tradition where we watch an award show. So Sunday's the Emmys, and then we watch Cabin in the Woods. I was just talking about I want to get a merman tattoo. My favorite thing on this earth is Buffy. So like I do love the way Joss writes stuff. He fucking sucks, but what can you do? And this movie, I'll never forget seeing this in theaters when she gets like attacked at the end and you're like, oh, that was fun. And you don't know that the third act is coming. And it's mind blowing the first time I watched this movie. And so I'm glad somebody picked it. I wasn't going to because it's too high. I think it should be or high. I don't know if
it's too low.
High or low.
High, low.
Too low. But
so you don't want to take the risk. You don't want to veto this, and then you could play it at 15, Jamie. You could make sure it gets 6 spots higher.
But at least it's on the list. I don't know. Like again, I would rather save it for something I feel strongly disliking about.
Ethan, have you seen this movie?
I have seen Cabin in the Woods. I watched it a while ago. And I knew you thought that I was going to say no, but I have seen Cabin in the Woods.
No,
I remember when I watched this movie, my moment for that was kind of like when I think it's like at the end of the first act when they're like try to leave the cabin and there's like a force field around the cabin. I remember watching it just being like, oh shit. Like, oh my God, like this is happening now. And I thought that was really cool. I like this movie. I think this is a great addition to making sure we fulfill kind of all horror subgenres. I think is really important. I love that a majority of the B plot around this movie is betting on what's going to happen, and I think that's pretty fucking funny stuff.
Bradley Whitford, Richard Jenkins, absolutely great chemistry.
Amy Acker, you have to give. I have a giant tattoo of Amy Acker, and so we got to shout her out. Also, my friends and I constantly say tequila is my lady because of Bradley Whitford in the movie.
Yeah, I was not expecting this movie to be as good as it was when I first saw it, and it blew me away. I was like, holy shit, I'm like on the floor laughing, and they're just embracing everything about horror that's good. So,
well, I remember when it came out. And I just remember being like, kind of feeling like alone on an island because it didn't have a place to really at the time discuss it. This would have been a movie if it was out today, would have crushed because of online commentary and people being able to discuss it. And also, again, like, I don't think people really remember because we're on set. I mean, Ethan won't because, again, he only seen films in the last 5 years. But Ethan, there was a time where horror was struggling, buddy. and
read me the ancient texts, Ryan, please.
Well, the scrolls were written
in the sun and the stars, and this
in the
is what
blood
they said.
of Wes Craven. You know what I mean? And so but like it was kind of like you know, Scream was that in the 90s in a lot of ways, and I feel like this was our, you know, the generation's version of that, and yeah, I mean, it is making fun of pretty much every single type of horror that had been popular in the last 10, 15 years, and doing it in a way where it wasn't, I think, mean-spirited at the filmmakers. It was making a commentary about the studio processing of how dumb they think an audience is to take slop. And I think because of a movie like this, there needed to be alternatives, and that's where the A24s, the Neons, you know, these movies start coming, because they needed to have an alternative to the usual stuff out from the studio. So it's a great film.
I agree. Another movie that does this, I doubt I'm stepping on toes here, but that I think really good at this is Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
I just rewatched that like a week ago, and it really holds up.
Every year. Yeah, it's so funny. But they also play on the tropes. Definitely more of a comedy, though.
Yeah.
No, for sure.
I did want to give a shout, because you mentioned, Ryan, horror dominating the box office right now, especially in 2025. We are recording this about 5 weeks after Weapons has come out, and it is the 12th highest domestic grossing movie of the year, with almost $150 million so far in 5 weeks, which is really lights out stuff. Final Destination's Bloodline not far behind. Like,
Sinners technically counts as well. I mean, you know,
Sinners top 5 of the year. So it's great shout.
Yeah.
Okay, now I am. That happened really fast that it got back to me. It feels like that came quickly and swiftly, but I am prepared this time. I have a great pick, in my opinion. And
2024s.
I have my. What if I picked a 2025 movie? What then? You know.
I mean,
could happen.
It could happen.
Pretty horrific watching Brad Pitt crash around that course. You know. Okay. So I have this pick and my next pick like locked down. If nobody nominates them, this is going to be me. So if you veto them, just know this is as good as it's going to get. The anything coming after this is going to be worse. In this spot, in the number 20 spot, I'm going to be nominating 2005's The Descent, a movie about a woman who goes on a caving expedition in the Appalachian Mountains, falls into a cave, unable to escape, and comes face to face with these creatures called the Crawlers and a society of crawlers down underneath the caves. This movie's scary and it's awesome. And it is, for me, one of like my favorite true horror movies. And I really, really like it. And I think it deserves to be on this list.
Were you rooting for the creatures?
Too low. Too low.
I think this is the scariest movie ever made. I don't think
You've got
I've
a veto,
ever been
Jamie.
as scared. I don't want to veto movies I like. I don't think I've ever been more scared watching a movie than watching The Descent.
It's crazy scary. It's really, really, really scary. And like that idea of being like in a cave to me is already scary enough. And then they're just like, fucking people live down there and they're gonna eat you. That's fucking scary to me. And so I really, really like this movie. 20 might be a little bit low, but I think it's okay. I think we'll manage.
Jamie's just happy it's on there. Is that another one?
happy it's on there vibes. Okay. So nobody's gonna veto this. We're gonna keep.
I'm not gonna veto it. I think it's a great movie. I'm curious, Ethan, if you side with the creatures in that because you're anti-woman.
Probably.
But
good shout.
But also, genuinely one of the more terrifying films. And Adam, to your point, like I'm not a particular like gore guy either.
Yeah.
And that poster scared me away for a long, long time. But it is genuinely horrific and terrifying. But also just a movie. The horror movies that I really like to also just contain great momentum as well. And that one is building it the right way. And so, I love that film. And I would have put it a little bit higher, but
you have the option. You have two vetoes.
I know, but I'm like Jamie, I'm saving it for something that's like truly Like
you guys say this now, and I'll just tell you, by the time we get to this end of this list, nobody will use a veto. It'll just it'll just go swimming.
And you know what? That's how we collaborated.
Yeah, no,
exactly.
I don't know what else you're gonna say either.
Yeah.
So
that's true. That's true. You better save it.
He only has one other thing to say.
I do.
Exactly. and it might be so dumb.
It might be so bad.
Veto.
Everybody
uses a veto. You know what I mean? It's a triple veto. So.
I love Descent. The Descent. It's a great movie. It was on my personal 25 of since the 21st century. Amazing movie. Like you said, Ethan, like just especially if you're claustrophobic, just scary as hell. My only complaint about this movie is that there's so much blood on everyone that you're like, wait, what character is that?
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
Like Band Brothers or something, like everyone's in mud. But
I'm not gonna spoil the end of this movie if you haven't seen The Descent, even though it's been out for 20 years. But I'll just say, like, the end is genuinely terrifying in my opinion as well. Like, I think they've really nailed it, and I think that's something important to horror movies and the horror genre is kind of bringing it home at the end. Even if you do lose momentum, even if you do kind of lose some of it in the final act, that power of like a final 2 minutes is really, really important. And I think The Descent has it. So, okay. We've done it. We've done the top 5. So we've just got a little bit more to go now. Not a single veto has been played. No veto override. And we press on. Jamie, you have number 19.
Yeah, I think this is a controversial choice, but I'm wearing the t-shirt, so it'd be crazy not to pick it. Okay. And that is, I think this is a 5-star movie. It is Mandy. I'm wearing my Cheddar Goblin shirt. Nick Cage is my second favorite actor in the world, and I love his movies so much. And to me, Mandy's a top 5 of his filmography. I think Mandy rocks. There's a chainsaw sword fight. It is gnarly. It's a little mean. He's great. He's so good in it. But I know that this movie does have its haters. So I'm curious to see what people think about that choice.
Personally, it wouldn't have been in my top 25. I do Nick Cage's role in this. It's fucking insane, and I love that. And like at the point where he does that, I'm just like, fuck yeah. So it is insanely artistic and neon and beautiful and wild. It is more campy than I personally like my horror movies, but totally can see why it's on somebody's list. I can also see why someone would hate it and never want to watch it again either. So it's a wild movie and probably not for everyone's taste, but I can absolutely see why that is on a lot of people's lists, especially if you're a horror buff. It's very unique.
It's a good movie. I like it. It's wild. I love Nick Cage. Nick Cage has kind of had a renaissance over the last couple of years. It's partial because of this. It's partial because of Pig. It's partial because of just him making finally good decisions.
I was him in Pig for Halloween one year, and it's like one of my best costumes I've ever put together.
Man,
that's pretty good.
I really crushed it.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, like my buddy and my co-host Jay Ledbetter at Awards Watch, we were big fans of Mr. Cheddar Goblin, and he's truly one of the more unique, interesting things I've seen in the last couple of years. And I actually think like it's a movie like I wouldn't have considered for a 25, but it would have been in like it would have been in the top 50, and it's a lot of fun. Ethan, have you seen this one?
Well, Ryan, I downloaded this movie to watch on the plane, and I downloaded 4 horror movies, and this is not one of the 2 that I chose. Unfortunately, I did not watch it.
You can't watch that on a plane. It's not a plane movie.
I kind of wanted to experience it on a big screen in my home,
or an iPod
not on
Nano.
my phone. Yeah, that's a good choice too. So no, I haven't seen Mandy, but it is definitely high on my horror watch list, and so I'll hopefully be getting to it this spooky season.
I'll be very interested to see what you think.
Yeah, where I land on it. I'd be really interested too. We shall see. We shall see. I will try. I'm not going to commit to this, but I will try my hardest for all of the movies that I haven't seen on this list to watch by the time we record part 2, the 12 through 1, and then maybe give a little bit of kind of justification of what I thought of the films that I did not see at the time when they got played. I think that'd be an interesting experience or an experiment. But right now it's like 1, 2, 3 movies. It's a lot of movies, you know? So
you literally just said you watched 25 movies in 6 days, and you're saying 3 movies is a lot.
Yeah,
come
most
on,
of them
buddy.
were
consistent.
Mid. That's the tough part. Okay, Adam, we're back to you. We have number 18. So Mandy is going to stick as number 19. I have no issues with this. I think it's great to get something like this on the board. A like real, pure, what it sounds like, pretty intense movie that has Nick Cage, which I think is great. So,
great.
Adam, you've got number 18.
Yes. I know exactly what I'm going to do with this one. It's higher on my list, but I think in the overarching collaborative nature of what we're doing here, I personally think it's probably around what it is, but I don't even know how many people have seen this list or seen this movie. It's been a while, but it's been one of my favorites since I saw it back in, again, 2007 movie. I guess a great year for horror. But I'm going with J.A. Bayona's The Orphanage from 2000.
Oh.
Okay.
I personally love Poltergeist is one of my favorite movies of all time. And I love a great haunted house ghost story movie if it's well done. This is produced by Guillermo del Toro as well, gave him his debut. Just an absolutely wonderful movie. It truly is the kind of movie that, although it has a few brutal moments, it is a movie that everything you see off screen makes you way more tense and terrified through the whole thing. It's got one of the best medium scenes where they walk through the house, similar to Zelda Rubinstein and Poltergeist type of thing. But just overall, so well done. A tragic story, a wonderful drama as well. And again, it's really more, it's really more about the people than it is the actual tragedy or the monster or whatever may be out there. It's what's in your head. And this movie, I think, encapsulates it so well. I don't know how many people have actually seen it, but it's absolutely was in my top 10. But since I only have a few choices, I'm going to try and fit it in because I think it deserves its flowers.
This is another movie that came out when I was 17 that I was kind of mid on, and that I feel like I'm not now qualified to judge on. It's another one like I should watch it again. So I don't feel comfortable vetoing it.
It's well done. Well done. Ryan, have you seen it?
It's a good movie. It's a good movie.
It?
I mean,
okay.
Yeah, I mean, truly terrifying stuff at times, haunting. And I mean, Bayona sadly hasn't made a movie even anywhere close since. He's kind of been like a wanderer, a journeyman for the last.
I agree. Monster's Call it had its moments. Same with Hello Road that just came out this year. Like it was good, but like
the guy just hasn't been able to find it since. But I mean,
Hello Road's still back. Sorry.
I no, he did something recently that I was like, oh, that was and then he did one of the damn Jurassic films, which is like has some creepy stuff, but then it's also like, the hell are we doing here? So
highly recommended though.
No, he's a really, really great visualist. It's his scripts that are really what tears him down. But this movie is really, really good. And Ethan, have you seen this one?
You've got Del Toro holding his hand through this one because it is his debut. It is in Spanish though, for anyone who's looking at it, but so it is a foreign horror film. But
so Ethan, you have to read.
That'll be a first. I've actually never seen a film with subtitles that's not English.
There are women the main character. I don't know if that's
she's a woman.
That's tough.
Oh, Ethan,
well,
it sounds like a struggle bus for you.
Sounds like a good time where I should nominate a film called Men, possibly. Who's to say really what'll happen?
If you put that up there, I swear to God, just no.
You're gonna veto it?
Into the sun.
I'll also veto that, just for the record.
I think you guys are kind of titillating me a little bit and teasing me a little bit to maybe just put up some real fucking crazy stuff and see who vetoes it and see what happens at the next bout.
Go about your business the way you want to do it.
It sounds like a fun activity. Nonetheless, it's not my turn to put something up. It is, in fact, Ryan's turn. I have not seen The Orphanage. I've seen it on a lot of these kind of lists, and it's something that I have no take on. So it sticks. You have found a kind of a strategic leeway here. If somebody hasn't seen it, they generally won't veto. So
okay. Well, this is So I kind of wanted to like encapsulate, I guess, with my 3 picks, 3 things that usually are the trend. So I wanted to do like horror comedy with the first one, and then I wanted to make a franchise pick with or something that becomes a franchise, and then I'll tell you when I pick it later what I'm going to do with that pick. But I have multiple places or multiple things that I could pick here for the franchise pick.
Mm-hmm.
But I think a good old fashioned 17, it is topical and it is on the mind in the sphere. And I think one of our great directors that we've had for horror of the last 25 years is James Wan. And I'm going to put, I think, his best film. And I'm going to put The Conjuring.
Yes, nice work. Yes, I love those.
Yeah.
Again, I'm a haunted house guy, so yeah.
Like, I mean, I think that, you know, you could put Saw, or, you know, if somebody wants to put Malignant later, I'm not going to be wrong about that because the movie slaps. But the Saw franchise turns into really what is wrong with a lot of horror, and also you could do Insidious as well too, because he has that. But I think The Conjuring is this beautiful marriage of studio filmmaking, his really great sense of style, being truly scary. Like there are scares in The Conjuring, the original Conjuring, that still scare me today. And I think the great thing about a horror movie can be viral marketing and the marketing campaign and a trailer. And the first trailer for The Conjuring with the whole sequence is an iconic piece of marketing, and still scares me to this day. There's a jump scare about halfway through involving the video crew that still gets me to this day. And you know, Patrick Wilson, Villar Farmiga, they have made 3 more of these things. They've had the Annabelles, they've had the Nun, they had all these films that have spawned off from it and created this giant franchise of mostly good defined films. But this is, to me, of a franchise pick, the right one, because like it is still the best and it didn't spawn a lot of crap out of it. So
totally
I think so. Right. I'm going with this one.
Okay.
And the first Saw is definitely monumental. It has its moments, although it's super fucking cheesy too sometimes.
Oh,
as well.
Yeah.
So, and then it goes on to be even more cheesy, to your point. They made the sequels, and those are actually equally pretty solid. Not all of them, but I remember the second one, like it was like at least I remember liking it. But no, this was in my top 12, and I'm so glad I got on the list because I didn't think I was going to get it. And yeah, there's a lot of franchise things here, and you never know what's actually good or bad. But it's all about the first one, right? And how effective that is, because there wouldn't be more if that one wasn't good.
So this whole thing, I let you guys have your time in the sun. All of this bullshit you said about Saw is fucked. Like, get the fuck off my podcast kind of energy. I will not stand for it. I will not have it. To that degree, we're in the James Wan territory. Adam, you just said that The Conjuring is in your top 12. Now, of course, you're not coming back for the top 12. But you have another pick here on the draft. Would you consider putting The Conjuring at 14 if someone, me, were to veto this here? Or does then it doesn't make the board, in your opinion?
No, I'm not going to veto it. I'm with Jamie. I don't want to veto movies I love.
I would like to say, just in the Saw regard, is that I'm a Saw girly, and like I have seen every Saw, right, Jamie. Whereas I have not seen every Conjuring. I like the first one. I've not seen probably most of them, whereas I've never missed a Saw movie. Even though I don't like a lot of them, it's like I have to keep coming back. I have to.
I think
I actually think Malignant is better than than most of the things he's made. But I respect the choice of the first Conjuring.
This choice makes me nervous because of what you said, Ryan. Because like we're now entering like the kind of the franchise territory a little bit, where it's like spawned a franchise, right? It's by a filmmaker who is very key and core to 21st century horror. Let's hash this out for a second. Let's talk about this. You and we can have a little sidebar because
you and me. Okay.
Well, if you'd like, because this was your pick, really.
Yeah.
And
it was.
I will be completely transparent with you. Super duper honesty time. At 16, I was going to play Saw. That is what I was going to do. Now,
too low.
That's the thing. So I think 16 is too low. The reason I was considering playing it at 16 is because if I can't get it on the top 12, then there's a top 25 without Saw, which I think just like throw it all into the gates of hell. Yeah. That's insane. But you kind of usurped my energy there. You stole my momentum because you chose a franchise pick. You chose James Wan, and you just spoke poorly about Saw.
I'm just going to tell you this, and if you veto mine, I'll veto Saw.
Whoa.
So,
whoa is right.
So, bring it on, buddy. Like
I don't really know what else. What else would you play here, though? Do you have something else you'd play, or am I? Would that just be like tossing it to the wind?
Here's the thing: is that, well, to Jamie's point, Jamie's a big Saw fan. I'm not disagreeing that there are fans of Saw, but I don't think that the majority of those films continue to have a lasting quality, both in the public's consciousness and amongst most of the fan base. You look at the recent, like literally the recent Conjuring film, this Last Rites, was so fucking huge.
Doing good business.
Saw
10 ate up the box office. Yeah, we can. Jamie and I, collaborative work right here.
How was Spiral?
We stand for Saw.
Like, you know what I mean?
We stand for Saw, not for Spiral, for Saw.
Seeing Sam Jackson in a trap, though, is pretty awesome.
I mean, it was,
but I would watch it again for that.
But they had to go back to, this is a prequel inside of the first one and kind of built off of that as opposed to ending that. And what I'm saying is that there are a lot of films in that Saw franchise.
Yes.
That you were just like, wow. We're really
How has this turned into disparaging Saw? You played The Conjuring, Ryan. We're talking about The Conjuring here.
Well, I'm saying is that, you know,
you picked The Conjuring, not The Conjuring franchise. He's saying Saw, not the Saw franchise.
This is important.
Well, I do also think too that The Conjuring itself as a film is an overall aesthetically just a better, more classic film, and Wan's direction there to me is stronger at this point of his career because he's made Insidious and because he's made Saw. He's working within the classic era of the horror franchise and elevating that for modern audiences. For me, I like Saw a lot, and I like Insidious. Insidious is terrifying as well too.
Yeah, it's up there. As well.
I mean, we're talking about a modern master of horror.
Yeah,
that's what James Wan is to me. And Malignant is a movie that I fucking love, but like I really do. But I just, again, once we get higher on this list, I value picks that I've been around with longer. And when I first saw that Conjuring film in theaters with a group of my friends and everything, that was like at the time where we were just like, damn, there's, you know, the intersection of the wave of A24 films were starting. It was post the time of Cabin in the Woods, and this film comes out, and I just remember everybody gets sucked in at one point to a horror film in its marketing, and in the summer, in August, it was hot in Texas. We went in the theater, we saw this at like 9:00 at night, and everybody was fucking terrified. Everybody was fucking entertained. Like, this movie is the intersection of why James Wan is so great to me. And also, to Adam's point, I'm not as strong on gore as much as others, so that's probably why I tend to this. And it's really fucking good. Like, if you watch The Conjuring, like it's such a good fucking movie, and it also fits perfectly here because I wouldn't put it in a top 12. I put it in this section here. I think it's perfect for it because, you know, there's gonna be like Ethan's gonna get a laundry list of 12 films. 13 films, you know, 50 films for me that I would put in that 1 to 12 range. And it's going to be, and a lot of like not to spoil this, but my number 13 pick is going to be a film in that vein of a film that I think should be in that spot, because that's like obviously The Exercise. But I think that franchise films are fun to put in this range, much like what you're saying, Ethan, which is why Ethan was literally saying, like, I was about to do that until you stepped all over my dreams here. You know what I mean?
It is the range. I totally agree with you. I think we're in that range. I feel like you've kind of broken a little bit of a seal here, where like 25 through 18, we were kind of just having a good time. And then you were like, let's be real, guys. Let's start talking about things that matter. And you played The Conjuring. And so now I'm a little bit worried about what I'm going to play next, which is why I felt so good about Saw, because I was like, this is the time. Like, it makes sense to pick Saw.
You can still pick it.
No one's going to hurt you for it.
I feel like I'll be attacked, honestly. I feel like it'll be vetoed.
You're not going to get attacked by anybody in this room if you pick Saw. No, you know what it is? You're looking at it through a person that sees lists. And you're seeing that 2 James Wan films are getting picked back to back. And guess what? They're 2 fucking good movies getting picked back to back.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
Adam, go ahead. You have something on this?
Oh, I was just going to say the original Saw, I have no problems with. It's a great movie. The concept is half the reason that it became 10 different movies, right? It's a great concept for a horror film. So I have no problems with that. But to Ryan's point about the franchising of it, I just think the Conjuring is stronger.
Because when you're talking about best film, and then you talk about the intersection of what's important, then the broader context on lists do matter about legacy and what happens after this and why it's built on a thing of 25 or 25, because that's part of the math equation. It's sometimes it's stronger for other parts and sometimes it's not.
Yeah.
No?
But he's a more evolved director with Conjuring than he was with Saw, right? Like he's did more stuff. To your point, is higher quality. I love how you said it was the studio and kind of the match with horror is great.
Okay, so we all have a pick left. I've got 16. Jamie, you have 15. Adam's got 14. Ryan, you have 13. This has so far gone quite smooth. The Conjuring, I feel like, has set us on a new path for the remaining 4 picks, in which I feel like we're a little bit after each other and a little bit having to worry about the importance. With that in mind, I was looking through my long list of movies, and it appears that I have found a couple of movies that I think deserve a shout, but we've kind of passed the zone of like, let's give a shout to a fun movie.
Okay.
But what if we're not past that zone? You know what I mean? Like what if we just revisit that zone for a brief minute? So I'll think about it. The thing that I did want to say the most is this episode will not release before we make part 1. So all participants of part 1 will not know how this went down. They'll just have a list to go off of what is ineligible for part 1. With that, I will say in confidence to all of you that I will make a blood oath that Saw is my one movie for part 1, that I will get it on that board. And if it gets vetoed, I will make sure it gets on that board somehow in some way. So I'm not going to be playing it here because I think that's much more fun and entertaining to do that exercise. But there's a movie I just don't really know.
So we're locked in with The Conjuring.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
We're locked in.
All right, cool.
I'm not going to veto it.
All right.
I'm not going to veto
it. Oh, no, I didn't hear resolution on that. We just were just going. So, okay. All right.
Well, I kind of wanted to do Saw too, because then I would have gotten to say like every one of my picks has gone farther back in time. Like I started in 2022 and then I went back I went back to 2016 and then I went back further.
You can do that.
I don't want it at 16 though. I want it much higher. I would love it in like the top 5, to be quite honest with you.
It's higher for you, Jamie, right?
And it's higher for Jamie.
Yeah. No, I actually don't know. I think that in a general collaborative draft, it should be higher. My personal list, I don't know how high it could be.
No.
That's
I mean, like,
just my truth.
You know.
Okay.
I think if you put it right here, it would be perfect for it.
I think the internet wouldn't be mad if it was in the top 12. I don't think they would. If you're thinking about
no. I don't give a fuck about the internet. It's just more of a me thing. I want to sleep good at night knowing I put it on the right side of the board. Okay. I'm going to do the wise thing here. There's a movie that I kind of like highlighted and bolded on my long list that I'm not going to play, that I will give a shout to at the end of this show. And I should have put it at 25. I'm just going to say that right now. I wonder if this will be vetoed, because I feel like it's pretty important to the cabin in the woodsness of what we're doing in horror.
I know where you're going.
And I just don't want to make the wrong call here, even though this might be wrong and might be vetoed for good reason.
We all have vetoes, so
I know. That's what I'm saying. That's kind of why I'm like, let's experiment a little bit.
Some has a veto override.
Experiment.
So
okay, fuck it. Okay, all right. Yeah. You guys have totally just changed my mind. I was just ready to put the wise decision no longer. At number 16, I'm going to be putting a movie that I really like. It is a more recent film. It is 2023's Infinity Pool. I think this movie is fucking awesome, and I think it shouldn't be this high, but I think it's cool. And I could talk for a long time about Infinity Pool. Obviously, Mia Goth, I think, has not been on the board yet. One of the, Pearl, X, everything we're doing with her in horror is important. And, the Brandon Cronenberg of everything is important as well. But I don't think a lot of people have seen Infinity Pool, to be honest with you. Like, I don't think wasn't really a big hit.
It's been on my list for a long time. I have not seen it because I was waiting for the unrated, and then by the time that came out, I just never saw it.
Yeah, it was too long.
It does bother me to have a baby Cronenberg on a list without guaranteeing there's a Papa Cronenberg on the list.
There'll be a Papa Cronenberg. Don't worry. There's no way there's not.
Okay. Well, my favorite Cronenbergs are pre this century, so
I know.
Who can say? But because I haven't seen it, I don't feel right vetoing it. Is the thing.
Adam, thoughts?
Yeah, I've never seen it either, unfortunately. I do love David Cronenberg, but this is his son, so
But this is his son. That's really funny.
His stuff is generally body horror stuff, which is, again, not the top on my list normally. So
yeah. I mean, basically, these two people go on a vacation, and then they find out that there is this service that they can pay for to essentially reanimate a version of themselves to go do nefarious activities. So that way they don't have to suffer the consequences. And of course, things become intertwined and don't shake out the way that they're supposed to. I think it's a great Eat the Rich movie, which is always important and always a big theme in modern day horror. But it's kind of on Ryan to veto this at this point. I'm shocked.
I have seen this film. Ethan?
Yeah, you don't like it?
Make another fucking pick.
I mean, if there's any veto, it would have been this one. But
this movie fucking sucks.
This movie's fucking awesome, Ryan. What are you talking about? This movie's awesome.
Freaking decade, dude.
Fuck, dude, that's a terrible take. That's such a bad take.
It's such a bad movie. Brandon Cronenberg wishes he was his father. He wishes.
I think you wish he was his father, because this is not him. This is Brandon,
Brandon stinks. Stinks. And this movie
I stand by Infinity Pool. I have a movie theater sized poster rolled up.
You get rid of it. It's a bad movie.
Burn it.
Burn it.
Burn it. Okay. All right.
Flip it up.
Well, I nominated it. That's what's important. I nominated it.
And
okay, now we're going back.
It's out. It's gone.
All right, go back to that wise choice.
At least I tried. I knew that wasn't going to stick. I knew it wasn't going to stick. And frankly, Ryan, if you didn't veto it, I would have vetoed it, because there's in no world should that have been there at all.
Yeah.
I am going to nominate
not the 16th best horror movie. Yeah. I'm sorry.
I'm going to nominate 2004's Shaun of the Dead. Very important movie to the horror genre.
Knew that was coming.
Yeah.
That is the wise decision. It is a movie that everybody likes. I don't think I've ever met somebody where they're like, Shaun of the Dead is terrible. Even however you feel about Edgar Wright and the things he has done post Shaun of the Dead, unless you hate it, Ryan.
No, I'm just kidding. No, it's a good movie. It's a good movie.
Okay, good.
It's not my favorite of the
Cornetto
trilogy, but it is very important and very good. And unlike Cabin in the Woods, it is a horror comedy that is more of a send up and has more of a heart and an affinity for the zombie films of past. It is not trying to critique any of that. It's trying to have its own fun within it. And but yeah, before Edgar Wright became, I guess, like the most like hated man, I guess, or like the most like, blasé filmmaker that I guess people don't like gravitate towards, even though it's just one bad movie or a bad movie and a half that he hasn't made good in the last couple of years. And he has that another one coming out.
We got the Running Man coming out right around.
Yeah, it looks
around
good
when this pod comes
like
out.
it looks fine.
Yeah,
it looks fine.
You're right. I think he'll be fine. Yeah,
I think he'll be okay. Like Edgar Wright
what
seems
did
like
you think that sucked? I don't like.
Last Night in Soho, people didn't like.
Yeah,
some people don't
really
like.
Out on Soho.
Some people don't like the second half of Baby Driver, so
Okay. I guess I'm not a hater. I guess.
Yeah, no, I know. I know. It's a thing that I just don't go back to a lot of his films all the time, but Shaun of the Dead is one of them.
To be fair.
I personally, Hot Fuzz is my favorite of the of that, and really, honestly, is an interesting film to then discuss. Of like, does that count because it's playing on the slasher franchise, but also that one's really about action movies, and I think The World's End's more about sci-fi films, and I do think this is straight up about zombie films. So it's right where it needs to be. I think
I was just gonna say the same thing. I think in this list, it's right about where that makes a lot of sense.
I think the internet would say it's probably top 10 or top 5, but I think for my sensibilities, it would be in this area, and so this is the right episode to talk about it for me personally.
I agree.
We're so back. I did make the right choice.
Yeah. I've only ever seen it once. I liked it, but it's not one that I'm like trying to watch. Well,
it's funny. Yeah, it's really good.
I've never seen The World's End either. I'll admit it.
That's a good one. It's definitely the third of them, but it's a good time. Like Hot Fuzz is just such a fucking good movie to me that
Yeah. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go Adam, go.
Oh, I was just gonna say the fact you fucking chose Infinity Pool over Shaun of the Dead is kind of mind blowing.
I think you just did that.
I told you. I'm just trying to create content. That's my job here.
He just tried to get rid of one of our vetoes. That's all he did.
It's true. I'm a clips man. I gotta find enough moments to make clips about this show to post on socials to try to get people to listen and not just look at the lists. Yeah. So I was doing a service for everybody here.
Or to watch.
Yeah, or they can watch. Okay, Shaun of the Dead. I kind of thought somebody would veto that to try to bump it, but I'm good with 16. I'm really good with 16, actually. Yeah. Okay.
That makes sense.
Jamie, you're at 15.
Ooh, okay. So this is where I come back to. I think that my number one, 15 is too low for it. So I'm just gonna have to hope that someone.
You don't want to try to have me put it on the list. Throw it to me. I can do what I can.
Well, no, because what if no one vetoes it, and then I don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just feel like 15 is way too low.
I can try. I mean, we'll see how part 2 shakes out.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not gonna promise anything.
No. But... Should I tell? Can I am allowed to say what it is later? Or like
sure.
The show,
if you don't play it, sure.
Okay, I'm not gonna play it. I'm confident that somebody will put it in the top. Maybe even one of you guys. Like, I just think, like, even if I had the 13 slot, I think I might have dropped it. But I think 15. I think 15 is just not representative of a div. Wow, I couldn't say that word. But I am gonna pick something that probably will get vetoed. But I do want to. I wouldn't be me if I didn't try.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
That was me with Infinity Pool. We got to stay true to ourselves, Jamie. Yeah,
exactly. And so there's nothing I love more on this earth than vampire movies. I love vampires very deeply, but my 2 favorite vampire movies of this century are not horror, and that is Twilight, Stand By It, it's a masterpiece, and Only Lovers Left Alive, that's just a drama. So my third favorite, my third favorite vampire movie of this, what year is it? I actually don't know the answer to that question. 2009. I also very deeply love Korean cinema. So I'm morphing these together and picking Park Chan-wook's Thirst. I love Thirst. It's a really fun, it is kind of a drama, and it's sexy and it's gross, and it's just such a good vampire movie. And it's funny because it's based on Therese Roquin. I don't know if I'm saying that right, the French story. And there's also a movie called In Secret starring Elizabeth Olsen and Oscar Isaac. That's the same story, but just like the normal drama version. And this is like the vampire version of it. And I don't know if everyone's here has seen it, if you're going to keep it on the list or veto it, but I just feel like we need some Korean representation, and that would be my pick. So
I'm never going to veto Park Chan-wook.
Yeah, me neither. No. Honestly, this has been on my watch list forever, and I do plan on watching it, so I'm not going to veto this at all. Yeah.
Amazing. Wow.
I've heard only good things about it.
He's the master of cinema. He can do no wrong. I saw his latest film at TIFF. I think also Ethan saw it as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, no other choice.
We were at the same screening.
Park Chan-wook, sicko mode confirmed.
Guy doesn't ever miss. He is.
Nope.
He's one of the best ever, and this movie rules. So
great.
There ain't no fucking way this thing's getting vetoed today. I would veto a veto up in this joint. You can't veto a master. You can't do it.
It's true. Yeah, you found a loophole. Okay, so Thirst gets played at 15. That's super exciting. I'm really bummed that I haven't seen it yet, because I would like to speak about it, but that's okay. I will in time for part 2. I guess I could have. That's true. Did I mention about The Conjuring? Did I mention that's the other movie? I downloaded 4 movies for the plane, and The Conjuring was one of the other movies, and I didn't watch The Conjuring, unfortunately.
But you've seen The Conjuring, yes?
No.
What?
Wow. Oh.
No. I've never seen The
Fucking
Conjuring.
kidding me? You're fucking.
That's why we went into this whole. That's why we went into the whole thing, because I was like, I haven't seen it. Why should it be on the board?
Mr. Content, and you haven't even fucking seen the thing. Damn it!
So funny.
I tried, and it didn't take. Adam.
Look at it. Jamie's so mad she left.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, watchers of on YouTube will notice.
She's going literally to watch The Conjuring right now.
She's like, here, we got to pull this up. Adam, you have number 14, and then Ryan, you've got 13. We've got 2 spots left, and only 1 veto has been played.
It's very possible that this one may get vetoed. I'm not sure. I rewatched this one last night to make sure that I was right, because it is a somewhat recent movie, but it is one that I think is close to perfection for what I look for in a movie, not even just a normal movie, but a horror movie, a drama, everything. And you, this very easily could get vetoed, and I have no idea. I'm very much in your lane, Ryan, where I appreciate older movies and that have been with me longer. And I'm probably going to create some content for you here, Ethan, but I'm choosing Weapons as my number.
Whoa! Wow. Okay. Hold on.
Okay, go ahead.
But before any of this is said, real fast, it's hilarious to me that you've chosen Weapons, because on our last episode that came out, when Weapons was thrown around the conversation, I had said I had not seen Weapons. I was promptly called out several times on social media and forced to apparently shut down the podcast because I hadn't seen Weapons. Still haven't seen it. Just wanted to put that out there for everybody.
What the fuck are you doing?
That was your burner account, Adam. That was your burner account. That's right. This is your revenge.
No, we actually run it. It's a dual account.
Okay.
Okay.
Here's the argument for it before people veto anything or whatever. So I think it has everything that a classic horror movie has. If you look at something like Halloween or anything like that, it has, not only is it a great drama, it's a great horror movie, it's a great zombie movie. It is kind of it's got a little bit of everything. The storytelling is fantastic. It's so many throwbacks. I saw my friend Brian Telrico from ebert.com say it was George A. Romero's Magnolia, which I thought was kind of like a very interesting take on it. But no one's ever going to forget Aunt Gladys. No one's ever going to forget those kids running like this. It is to me one of the best modern horror movies I've seen in a long time. It hits everything that I wanted to hit. It tells a story in an interesting and unique way. Yeah, maybe there's a character or two that isn't as effective or important, but overall it hits every note for me. But I won't blame you if I know it is a very recent, but I am not a recency biased person. This is why I watched it again, and I wanted to make sure, is this really actually amongst my list of everything else I have here. Also, I would guess it's probably not going to be in the top 10 to 12, but that could be another reason that it gets vetoed. But we'll see what everyone thinks. But that's my case for it. I fucking love this movie.
I can't veto a movie that I think is one of the best films of its year. And I've seen a lot of the films so far.
I agree.
It's probably most likely not going to be the best movie of the year because I still have this movie to watch called One Battle After Another. But it does evoke a lot of the things that I love filmmaking wise from a film like PTA and also from at times Spielberg and at times
you guys are blowing my brain. I have to fucking see Weapons. The way you guys are talking about this movie is sending.
It is also truly one of the more patient films at, much like Coogler's Sinners, at developing its story and its world. And it is truly horrific. And it's a movie now that when I watch it, I went and watched it at the press screening and I loved it. I took my wife to see it. I wasn't necessarily watching the film the second time as much as I was watching her.
Yes.
Because when you watch it with somebody that hasn't seen it, which is I think the great thing about horror films is introducing people to horror films, is watching what scares people. And I think that this movie, were a lot of, I'm just going to say it. Sorry, Ethan.
You're going to spoil this movie for me?
No, I'm not going to spoil it. No, I'm not going to spoil it for you.
Okay.
Hang on. Just listening is, just calm down.
But this is a microphone. I don't listen when I have a microphone in my mouth.
Yeah, but you got hip earbuds. There are a lot of fucking idiots out there that say that this movie was about nothing. And I say they are nothing because this movie contains multitudes and means whatever it is to the beholder that is watching it. This is a great thing about horror, is that horror can be a Rorschach test into what terrifies us. And it could be the smallest thing and it could be the biggest thing. I think Krieger is just like going to be in the next 10 years the guy we're talking about.
He's the new James Wan.
With Wan, with Peele, with Eggers, with replace Astor in a lot of respects. In terms of, this is a guy that when you see his name up there, you're going to be like, holy fucking shit, this guy is going to do it. Is it too soon maybe to go there? I don't know. But honestly, I don't give a fuck. This movie is so good that if anyone had said it was at 1 or 20, well, if it was at 1, I'd probably veto. But if it's like in this range today, this is the one film from this year that I would allow hyperbole, I guess.
I felt like it may have been too soon, but I just, to your point, it's my number 2 movie of the year. I love Barbarian, absolutely love Barbarian.
No, that movie's great.
And so I was excited to see this, but this one took it to another level with everything that I talked about, all the different aspects. Ethan, you'll fucking love it.
Unlike any theater experience I've seen this year. True.
I gotta go. Wait, Jamie, so I have tickets to see The Insider and 35mm tonight. Do I go to that or do I go to?
You go to The Insider and 35mm. It's that's Michael Mann's masterpiece. You never
just a little test to see who my real friends are, but I appreciate it.
And maybe
that was the right answer.
Or you just do a double feature and you get off your ass and go watch Weapons with it.
What you both just said was so beautiful and so compelling, and I'm vetoing this.
Yeah, that's fair.
Here's the thing. I like Weapons. I think it's a good movie. I would never say it's about nothing. I think that's ridiculous. I think Gladys is a great character. I think the third act falls apart in such an unfortunate way. I'm sorry. To me, this movie is
the best.
It's a good movie. It's a 3.5 for me, but to put a 3.5 in the top 14 of the century, I just can't allow it. I'm so sorry. I know I'm in the minority here. I like it, but I had a lot of issues with it. I started this movie saying they better explain it, and I ended this movie saying they better stop explaining it. I just think that last section, it just didn't work for me in a way that I'm so sorry. I'm not a hater. I'm not a hater. I think I like Barbarian more. I just think if you had put this at 25, I think I would have left it. But I think 14 is just way too generous for Weapons, and I'm so sorry. I really am sorry.
I would have it higher.
That's crazy. Okay, so
Jamie, I
weapons.
honestly would love to talk to you about it after, like at another time, because I honestly think the movie, it's so funny because, and this is not a shot at Jamie at all, but like she just like literally said something that a friend of mine, like on the opposite end, was like, I wish it explained more, and was the reason why she didn't like it.
Wow,
and then Jamie's like, I think
yeah.
it explains so much, and I sit here in the middle going like, you guys are nuts. It explained just enough. Like, yeah, like, you know what I mean? And it was like, it's like the, you know, like this, it's like this porridge is too thick and this one's but this one's, and for me, it's
beautiful.
Just right. You know what I mean?
I like that. I think it's a beautiful thing that we view movies that way. And it's like that Parks and Rec episode of Twilight, we're talking about Twilight, where it's like, it's too Christian, it's not Christian enough. Like that kind of a thing. And it's the same thing. And I will tell you that my boyfriend, Tony, who, you know, sees as many movies as I do, felt the same way as I did. So I'm not like on an island. We discussed after we did agree, but that's interesting. And I'm feeling a little guilty for vetoing it, but I think that makes for a more interesting podcast. No, and that's genuinely how I feel. Like, I'm not trying to be, you know,
No. I think that's what's so interesting about the film is that it can spark discussion, unlike most of the films that we've talked about already on here. Yeah. And that's part of legacy as well too. It's like, you've been out for 2 fucking months and you've sparked more conversation than fucking talk to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like,
maybe when
that was a fucking stray, but okay, it's whatever, guys.
I mean, come on,
crazy. You could have vetoed.
Than talk to me. I want.
You could have vetoed. Talk to me. Why are we coming after my 25 pick all of a sudden? You could have vetoed it.
Comparing. Ethan, I wish you would have seen this movie, but comparing it to other things on that are lower or higher on my list, I totally disagree. I think it's a perfect. I couldn't find much wrong with it after watching it a second time. But again, like, I love Magnolia, and I love Day of the Dead.
Magnolia is my favorite PTA movie. So really? That made me laugh. That is so. Just putting that out there.
Okay.
Yeah, that comparison is fun.
We do see why P.T. Anderson is referenced when in the making of this movie. Mm-hmm. If you ask me, but I just think it's not overtly gory. I think it totally has franchise potential.
Gotta hope not.
I hope not too. I hope not too. But I can see them
modernize just one-off movies. No franchises.
We should have gotten a spin-off about Magnolia. We should have been. That's Tom Cruise. Come back.
Magnolia is a ripoff of Shortcuts anyway. So
I think it's interesting. I think it's interesting that weapons got chosen.
I know it is, but he's literally doing that. It's an Altman
Shortcuts makes me feel sick.
I know it does. You know,
I think it's interesting that Weapons got chosen to be the Zach Cregger movie. I would have assumed Barbarian would be the one in conversation here. And
you have to see it because you have to maybe bring it back for the first half.
It's possible. Yeah, it's totally possible. I think that would be sick as hell if I was just like a huge Weapons truther all of a sudden, and I had no input on this pod and I do on the next.
It would track Jamie because he's only seen films in the last 5 years. So I mean,
so I got to choose another one, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did just want to give a shout. Zach Cregger is next up for Resident Evil in 2026. So we shall see.
Cregger, Resident Evil. Well, maybe they'll make a good Resident Evil movie.
He said that I have faith in it. It's the guy that plays the drug addict in the film is going to be the lead. The guy that's in Weapons, Austin Abrams.
Yeah.
He said that it's not based on any of the games and it's not based on any of the former films. It's a totally original story inside the Resident Evil universe.
People are going to hate that.
So I don't care. Give it to me. That sounds awesome. He's got all the faith in it.
But game people are really intense.
Oh yeah. Well, most game movies suck. So like they should be just happy that he's even doing this, to be fair.
You're right. I agree.
Well, Adam, you do have another pick. We've litigated Weapons for a substantial amount of time. I told you things were going well. They were going swimmingly. They were going smooth. And then Ryan played The Conjuring. And that's what happened.
Blame me.
I thought it might.
You haven't even seen it.
I wasn't sure if it was going to be vetoed, if it was too much of a hot take or not, but I stand by it, and I hope it gets in the top 12.
Okay.
All right. Well, if that's the case, then I'm going to go with I'm gonna go with 2014's David Robert Mitchell's It Follows.
So much better than Weapons. Oh my God, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for my choice. I love It Follows.
A veto done successfully.
I guess
I was worried. I thought you were going to say Halloween Ends as I was about to shut off my computer. That's the only
no, that's an
thing
Ethan semi pick.
Yeah. I mean, this is probably the closest thing to Halloween that we've had in this 21st century. I would say, you know, he's definitely harping from Carpenter a bit here, but the idea of it, how well and beautiful it is, how well shot it is, and just it's just a cool concept, and they just make it so eerie through most of the movie, and you know, the Micah Monroe is amazing in it as well. Like just the whole idea of someone chasing you naked in an empty parking lot sounds horrifying to me. So all the elements were there for a great horror movie. Not as good as Weapons, but I'll have it as my choice.
I'm so happy. I'm so relieved.
I did not know that David Robert Mitchell also directed Under the Silver Lake. Give a shout out for that movie.
Great
Criminally
movie.
Underslept on movie. Great movie. Looks like he's tapped to do They Follow, which is going to be a sequel to It Follows as well. Also starring Micah Monroe. This movie was on my short. This movie was on my short watch list for the part 2. I thought it was going to make the 1 through 12, so I thought I had a little bit more time to watch it, and it appears that I don't. But I've been told I'll really like it.
I think after The Descent, it's the scariest movie we've put on the list.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I think particularly
it's like really scary.
in our modern era, a lot of my female friends are terrified by this. My wife's terrified by this movie.
I've seen it a lot.
If you're a woman, this is the most terrifying movie ever, and honestly, justifiably so. Like, you know, because I mean, the moral of the story is well, I mean, men are the worst, and in truly
seems accurate.
Epic fashion.
It's just like Halloween and Jamie Lee Curtis. Yeah, it's this generation's Halloween, I think. So
I don't disagree. I think it's very much evoking that. I am terrified of what the fucking sequel is going to be.
So Ryan,
I think they really stick the landing here. Mm-hmm. What?
Okay. Is this better than Weapons?
Yeah, I think this is better than Weapons. I mean, I think Weapons is a great film. Like, it would be in my top 15 of this for this exercise, but It Follows is one of those films that I remember seeing, and I was just like, God, this is such a great premise. And it like high concept premises are really great if you can stick the landing, and literally make me, I don't know, second guess like going in a swimming pool or walk around a corner. It really does take the Halloween aspect, and I think kind of amplify like this thing that could linger with you, and it has a commentary on, sex and what what literally lingers, but then it also is just, it can be even more of that. And so I think that the movie is incredible.
Because you have the next pick and you can easily take it, and Jamie's already used her veto.
Well,
it's true.
Veto override though.
James got a veto override. Okay, so It Follows is going to stick at 14.
Isn't that her override? It's not ours, is it? Or no?
Isn't it an override of a veto? So somebody has to veto in order to use it.
Yeah. That's correct. So someone would have to veto in order for Jamie to use the override. So I really think it would basically just be whatever you pick, Ryan. If Adam or I veto it, Jamie could veto override it. That's pretty much how it would have to shake out. Okay, it has brought us to Ryan at number 13, a spot that you have teased expeditiously through this entire draft here. Now I'm nervous, but what are you gonna pick?
You should be.
Okay.
So there's 2 vetoes left on the board, and I have 3 films I can pick. So if they get both vetoed, then guess what? They're only going to get worse and worse for Ethan going forward. I'm picking what I like to call good films that aren't the best by these celebrated directors in this category. Now, these are filmmakers that are going to get picked down the road. Now, if the first one gets vetoed, then you're going to find out who the other 2 filmmakers are. But Ethan did mention earlier then maybe I would steal something from one of the masters of horror right now, Mr. Jordan Peele.
Yeah.
And I'm going to put his lesser film here at 13 because his two other films deserve to be up there, higher.
And you want 3 Peele films in the 25?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And I think his lesser film is his first film. I will be putting at 13 Get Out.
Wow.
Whoa. I
That's
didn't see it coming.
crazy.
I did
That's
not see
insane.
that coming. I thought that was like guaranteed the best one. Like the other two, I'm like, is it going to be Us or no?
Me too. I thought you were talking about Us.
I thought it was going to be
Us is better in almost every way than Get Out. And Nope.
Damn.
Not to spoil, is my favorite Jordan Peele film. And so
shout out. Me too.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
wow.
God damn, dude. Okay.
So you want to put out here. Yes.
At 13?
At 13. Right outside top 12.
That's controversial.
Outside of 10. I like to have this is for content. This is for you out there. This will generate discussion. This will get a tease going.
It's true.
And it's also the correct thing to do. It's it's the right thing to do. Because Jordan Peele got better as a writer and as a director. He had better performances outside of this film. It is a phenomenon. It is what built him. That is for sure. And I like Get Out a lot. I really do. It won a freaking Oscar for him. But from that, I think he got better. Much like another director that he shouldn't get compared to, but just like M. Night Shyamalan, got all the love for The Sixth Sense. And Shyamalan made better films after that for me. Okay. And so I think that it's the same thing for Jordan Peele, but there's no doubt it has to be represented here. And I don't think it's in the top 10. I think the 11 to 15 range is perfect for it. And right here at 13, Get Out is the right place to do it.
I'm vetoing that.
Okay.
Because I have a reverse feeling with you. I think Us is probably still an excellent movie, and either Us or Nope being here, I wouldn't argue with. But I think Get Out needs to be in the top 10. So
all right,
I'm going to use my.
I agree. I love Nope, but I don't really think of it as like a best horror movie. I think of it just as a really great film, whereas like Us and Get Out are like horror in a way that I would put either of those on this list. And again, I love Nope, but I wouldn't put it on the list at all.
You should put Nope here, Ryan, because I don't think it's going to make the top 12. And right here, I would never veto it because Nope is a fucking masterpiece.
3 for some people too.
That wouldn't go with my trend here. So I feel like Peele will get represented on the list, and I feel like this movie will be in the top 12, which is also kind of basic. Not gonna lie.
That's
I
hand it to you. You tried to do something unique.
Ethan would literally be like, "Yeah, I would vote for Get Out for a 13
for another Oscar
if I could." And so I'll go to my next director, and the only veto left is from Ethan Simi.
It's true. It's a lot of pressure.
This is a lot of pressure. Not particularly my favorite, but I'm gonna go to the world of oh man, I could go both ways here. This is so crazy.
It's making me so nervous. I don't know what you're gonna do.
Are you getting nervous, buddy?
I'm crazy nervous.
Are you getting nervous?
This number 13 spot is a huge spot in my opinion, because what we did with the top 25 of the 21st century basically saw it as a a warm up to what we're actually going to be doing. I put Killers of the Flower Moon in this spot going into the top 12 of the 21st century. Like, this is where you should do the big one, so you get prepared. So whatever you're going to do, I don't trust you. No offense, but I think it's going to be crazy.
Yeah, it is. Are you ready?
God, yes. Go. All right. Say it.
I'm going to pick Hereditary.
What are you doing, Ryan? What's happening?
Again, not my favorite Ari Aster film, but a film that deserves to be up there because of its relevancy, and also will make Ethan Simi have to really choose whether he wants to veto it or not, and for Jamie to override his veto and keep it there.
Oh, Jamie could override. Wow, I forgot about that.
So, do you want to see what's behind curtain number 3? Or do you want to keep it here at curtain number 2, Ethan? it's really all up to you.
I need to hear Ethan, I need to hear like your feelings either way. Like, why is this a struggle for you? Do you think that this should be higher, or do you think that? What are you thinking?
Yeah. No, I'm definitely thinking it should be higher, and Ryan knows that that's what I'm thinking. We, of course, did the kind of Ari Aster, Eggers Peel draft that we ended up doing, and Hereditary was number 3 out of those 11 films. Ben and I, quite famously, really love Hereditary, obviously. And I think, just trying to think. I know I kind of had this conversation at 25 where I was like, it's the A24 of everything. And like, that's important. Hereditary is like the movie that started this era of like elevated horror. And so it's very important in this list. If we're doing important best, I think Hereditary is a 5-star movie. I think it is as good the 4th time as it is the first time, in my opinion. So I would kind of like anticipated, cool, that's a top 5. Like, we don't really have to worry about that today. So I'm a little emotionally vacant right now because
behind curtain number 3.
I don't know what to do. Can you give me a hint? What would curtain number 3?
No, you can no.
Tease me a little bit, Ryan. Tease me.
Jamie, what is your thoughts on where the placement of this? I'm just curious because
would you veto override? If Ethan vetoes it, would I veto override?
Yeah.
I just spent the last 60 seconds really thinking about it, and I do not have strong opinions either way that I don't think I would override it. To me, I don't think that would be on my necessarily high on my personal list, but I do agree that it is an important movie, and and that if it were to get a higher position, I wouldn't have a problem with that. And I'm just interested now to see what the third
I know. I mean, Jamie, to be fair, I do not think this is Ari Aster's best film. I'm mostly doing this
I agree with that.
The man up there and make my own good content.
I mean, that's why we're all here, right?
We're all here just to twirl our mustaches. You know
I'm with you. I actually think it's a pretty solid spot. If you ask me, I do think it's one of the stronger movies of his. So I wouldn't be surprised, kind of like Jamie said, I wouldn't be surprised if it is in the top 10 because it is an important movie. And it did, you make a great point, Ethan, that it does, it really kind of elevated a lot of horror, although James Wan has been kind of doing that a little bit for a while. So I wouldn't veto it if I had it. I think it's in a good spot, but I'll leave it up to you, Ethan.
But Ethan wants to know what's behind curtain number 3.
So I do have a great fascination to know what's behind curtain number 3. But while Jamie and Adam were speaking, I did do my own 60 seconds of deep critical thought here. I actually think playing Hereditary here at 3, while I don't agree with the 13 slot, I would personally have it higher. I think it'll make the play to have more modern elevated horror films on the top 12. I think it makes that exercise easier to perform. Like, I think it'll be easier to be like, yes, Midsommar should be a top 5. Yes, whatever should be in the top 7. Like, I think if we space them out, the list kind of looks a little bit better. So I'm actually going to swerve. I'm going to leave Hereditary here.
You're going to leave it there.
I'm going to leave Hereditary here. Now,
I kind of wanted you to go behind the curtain.
I know you did. You did. And it's really enticing. And when I tell Ben that Hereditary was played at 13, he might never come back on this show again.
Well, then I don't want to hurt
That's
Ben.
A risk I take.
I think you should veto it because it's actually...
I'm not going to do it.
I think you should do it. And here's why.
Tell me why.
Because you're going to want to know what's behind the curtain. It's really good. And it wouldn't hurt you nearly as much as this one.
No. I'm keeping Hereditary. Will you still tell me what you would have played? What curtain number 3 would have been?
Do you want to know now, or do you want to know when you just veto the pick and you just let me do behind curtain number 3?
You can tell me now.
Take the gamble.
I'm not taking the bait. No.
Come on.
I take the bait on this show way too often. I'm not doing it.
Look at my eyes to you.
No.
Look at my eyes. I'm being serious. You're going to want to open up the curtain.
I can't trust you. I can't.
You're going to want to open it up.
Ethan, you're going to want to save room for weapons in the top.
Yeah. You got to think about the future. Ethan, the future of weapons.
Ethan.
I really hope. Oh, I can't. Oh, God.
No, because I have dug my grave, Ryan, and this is where I lay. And I would like to look towards the sky and think, what a wonderful life I could have had. But no, here I lie, dead with Hereditary. That's the energy I want.
All right.
What would have been? What was the next pick? Now you can just tell us.
Okay, so I had 2 picks.
Okay.
Honestly, I was going to really toss it with the curtain I was going to go to next was Robert Eggers, and I was going to pick The Witch.
Okay, well, The Witch is making the top 12, so we don't have to worry about that. Yeah.
But if I didn't want to, my thought process was honestly, if Ethan, like that was the original idea.
Okay.
But the thought process was, well, this guy's not going to get picked because Ethan doesn't see movies past the last 5 years, as we've established on the show. But also, he's one of my guys, and I had to pick him. So if Ethan would have vetoed Hereditary, and I was in such a playful mood today, I would have taken my guy M. Night Shyamalan, and I would have picked Signs.
Okay.
And I would have done that. And to Jamie's point, you're right about Nope, but in place of Nope, Signs exists, and that is a truly terrifying movie about an alien invasion. And it's also M. Night Shyamalan's film, to me, his best film of his career.
Okay.
And dabbling into a lot of the religious motif that he has throughout his entire career, as well as also really great performances, truly terrifying set pieces. And I think also is a guy, Ethan, if I could make a plea, is a guy that has to be represented in the 12.
Totally
because of the fact that the twists, who he is in the culture, whether good nor bad, he was and is a name based off of horror films, genre films in particular. And he's a guy that invokes discussion. And and it doesn't always work. But I love M. Night, and he's one of those guys where, like, Eggers doesn't exist, Peele doesn't exist. All the names that we talk about nowadays, really in the modern era, don't exist without M. Night Shyamalan being hey, that's the guy that's attached to these films, and you can from the world of M. Night Shyamalan comes all those. So I would make the plea to have Signs. It'll most likely be Sixth Sense, but and that's fine because that movie's beautiful.
It's gonna be Trap, brother. It's gonna be Trap. Don't worry.
If it's Trap, that's totally great too.
99. It can't.
Yeah, I was gonna say Sixth Sense.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. It's 99, so that doesn't count.
Yeah.
Then The Happening will be and I'll be okay.
Yeah. There you go.
I'm a big Happening fan because I think it's hilarious. I want to say about Signs that I saw it once in theaters when I was 12, and it was a really bad experience. Let's just say, putting it nicely, I was with my friend, and she was like doing inappropriate things with her boyfriend as 12-year-olds.
Whoa,
that's not fair.
Respect the cinema.
Next to me, and it was so gross that it soured me on the film. But that was a very long time ago. I should watch the movie again.
I think you'll really like it. And there's an elaborate way in which he scares the viewer. There's in particular, there is a scene involving a knife that he sort of inches it under this door, and it is still one of the more terrifying things because and I know it's coming. I know the scare is coming, and it terrifies me to my core.
Sometimes
sometimes it's worse. Exactly. Sometimes it's worse when you know it. And that, Adam, is a film that I would have above Weapons. But that's just me. But I'm glad that I got my Sabotage in here a little bit.
Yeah, it's a great movie, and Signs makes a lot of sense, because I have The Witch and Get Out way higher. Personally for me, but Ethan, he kind of did his own Astor Peele.
I was gonna say, I applaud your stick to the bit, and you did your own Peele, Eggers, Astor exercise here, which I really liked, Ryan.
Because you will get yelled at now that is at 13.
100%.
You will
100%.
definitely get yelled at, and
we will feel the wrath of the.
I think it would have been worse if you kept Get Out there, and I knew it wouldn't have.
Yeah.
So I kind of should have just gone with this first, but.
But no, I
think The Witch I think The Witch honestly would have been the one of the three that you would have got less shit for, probably.
Yeah, but I I was done so dirty with The Witch with that last collaborative draft that it needs to be in the top 12. So I'm seeking a little bit of personal revenge on that as well.
Well, I would say it's either The Witch or Nosferatu, because those are his best films.
God, Nosferatu so bad.
The Lighthouse is his best film, but that's
we have completed the top 25 horror movies of the 21st century, part 1 here on the Movie Draft Podcast. I'm going to run through the team real fast. Since you guys won't be around for the next slate, if you guys have just a few movies to shout out of things that you maybe hope to see make the list or could have made this list. 25, Talk to Me. 24, Raw. 23, Ginger Snaps. 22, The Mist. 21, Cabin in the Woods. Number 20, The Descent. Number 19, Mandy. Number 18, The Orphanage. Number 17, The Conjuring, the inciting incident of this entire show for sure. Number 16, Shaun of the Dead. Number 15, Thirst. Number 14, It Follows. And number 13, Hereditary. I think the
list.
I think we did pretty good.
I think we did pretty good. I think the fallout for Hereditary at 13 will be pretty substantial, and I think that'll be a little bit shock value. But I actually do think it sparks a great momentum going into the top 12, saying, okay, Hereditary has been played and that's the floor now. So we kind of have to work within those bounds.
Yep.
And I wonder what will come of that. Adam, did you have any, or Jamie, did you have any honorable mention? You had something to say?
I just wanted to say that of all these movies, I've only not seen Raw. So I'm going to make a point to see Raw soon so that I can have an opinion.
Rewatch Weapons again. I think you'll like it more.
I didn't dislike it. I just don't think it deserves to be on this list. I would like to shout out one movie that I didn't do because I just think it's controversial, and I've already talked about how much I hate Halloween Ends. But if this were my list, I love the first David Gordon Green's Halloween, the 2018 Halloween. I deeply love that movie. I think it's great, and I think it's legitimately scary, and I'm such a Halloween person. I love Halloween so much that I think he did a good job with that. But I want to tell you my number one. The number one that I really hope makes in the top 12, and if it doesn't, I'm going to have such regrets for not using it, for me, is The Ring. The Ring changed my life. I saw it 4 times in theaters when I was 12. It was the first horror movie I connected with, and I just bought tickets to see it in LA at Beyond Fest in like a couple weeks. So I'm going to see it on the big screen for the 5th time after a 20-year age gap. So, so I hope somebody picks The Ring, and if they don't, oh well.
Okay. I'll duly noted for the top 12. Adam, do you have any you want to give a shout for?
Ones I'm hoping, and again, this is so personal. I mean, we've already talked about Get Out and The Witch, but ones that I hope are up there. 28 Days Later, The Babadook, Under the Skin, I think is fucking genius.
That movie is.
It was my number.
It's making the 12. Don't worry.
I mean, like that's the thing about like Glazer is all of his movies. And I'm going to say this, even The Zone of Interest.
Yeah.
Horror movies. Like that movie is horrific for being in a historical drama. And so that man, sorry, Adam, I didn't mean to.
No,
the Skin's a masterpiece.
Yeah, no, and I hope it makes it. Bong Joon-ho's The Host, I think deserves some
I considered it for my Korean spot.
And then I would have to put some kind of Guillermo del Toro in there, whether it's Devil's Backbone or Pan's Labyrinth. But that's just me personally. Those are up there for me. But everything else was pretty much either taken or spoken of. I'll be interested to see if Sinners lands anywhere in the top 12.
Yeah. Not really anticipating that to be the case, but you know what? Anything is possible. It's not that I think Sinners is great. I don't think this is the draft for it per se.
Yeah.
Ryan, did you have anything you wanted to give a shout for before we wrap up here?
Yeah, it's not that it is like that Sinners is bad. It's just like in the 1 to 12, like no. Like please. And Weapons is better than Sinners. So why would
That's
it not
insane.
be? Yeah. It is.
Whoa.
No.
It is, and
it's not that crazy.
It's not that crazy of an opinion. I agree with Adam. Like the Babadook has to be in the top 12. Like that is genuinely the reason why I didn't pick it is because I think it deserves to be in the top 5, and it is the scariest movie I have seen in the last 15 years. I truly watched that at home when it came out, and besides that annoying kid, It really it really just also makes you not want to have kids, to be fair.
I was gonna say, like, if you don't want to have,
it's not ideal.
Yeah,
for a father.
Let the right one in. That that
100%,
is
100%.
even let me in. The either one of those
they're both solid.
is the right choice there. I mean, Under the Skin was mentioned.
No Paranormal Activity.
None of those, please, for the love of God. None of those.
Yeah, what the heck?
Quiet Place.
Okay.
American Psycho, if you want to go down that route, it's great. Revenge is really good.
Again, I just don't see the serial killer nearly as fitting into the horror.
Being the horror.
I feel the same.
There's I would say, this honestly, there was a film that today that I kind of wish we would have put on, and I felt like it was more for today rather than for the next episode. So I'm just going to shout out that either Cloverfield or 10 Cloverfield Lane were the right choices for today.
10 Cloverfield was on my short list.
Over that one, but they're both awesome.
I didn't also know like Your Next was one also I considered, as well as also
I've heard good things.
The Host, those were ones as well. The Strangers, the
a lot of good ones.
Was one. So there's a lot of films, and for the love of God, Drag Me to Hell.
Yeah.
Okay,
Please.
so hold on.
Please,
okay.
please.
So you mentioned
please.
Drag Me to Hell, and this is a great wrap on the show, because when we got into 25 and I said I'm up between two movies, and one of them I watched that's new that I just didn't really get it. It was Drag Me to Hell. I didn't understand
it.
To
me.
Really?
God.
Is it though, guys? Is it?
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
I'm with you,
It's
Ethan.
literally a letter with a coin in it. That's what our entire plot hinges on. Come on, guys. Let's do it. Not for me. Not for me.
It was way too campy for me. I'm with you. I'm not a huge fan of that one.
So it could have been, and it didn't happen. There are a couple things that I think will definitely not make the top 12 that I kind of, in the similar vein of my Infinity Pool shout, kind of wish maybe I restructured my picks a little bit. I do stand by. I think Men would have been an interesting thing to throw on the thing here.
No.
Nobody talked.
No.
Okay, it's a good movie.
It's cool.
It's cool, guys. We're not here to litigate. We're not here to litigate Garland. We're not here to litigate any of this. Don't worry about it. Tusk.
Terrible.
Nobody give a shot for Tusk. I love Tusk.
I wouldn't put it on the
great.
list, but I do love
it. What are these picks?
A Quiet Place, we kind of mentioned a little bit.
Actually, that could have been a good one in this range.
There's some
better than the first one.
There's some other things out there, but I don't want to get too far into it, because of course we do have part 2 coming next week by the time that this one comes out. But a huge thank you to all three of you, Jamie, Ryan, Adam, for joining the draft. Jamie, if people want to find more of you, where can they find you at?
Yeah, my podcasts are Phase Hero and Love in the Time of Hydra. I imagine that this is not coming out before September 27th. I have an LA Comic-Con panel. So if it's not, that'll be recorded. You can listen to it later. You can follow me at Jame Jirak on Letterboxd, because I'm sure that's what is the main thing. And I also just want to real quick do a quick recommendation, because my favorite horror movie I've watched this year for the first time was The Vordelok, a French film from 2023. I'm like obsessed with it right now. I wouldn't have necessarily put it on this list, but I've not stopped thinking about it. So if none of you guys have seen it, I highly recommend checking it out.
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah. Great shout. Adam, what about you? If people want to find you, where can they find you at?
Yeah. Follow our podcast at Deep Dive Film School. We're on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. YouTube's the biggest thing, obviously, just because we have a visual reference to everything we talk about. We do themed festivals, though, with directors, actors, as well as genres and stuff like that. We also do short form stuff, and we play Fuck, Marry, Kill with movie characters. It's really fun. So join us for that. And then at Adam Palcher on Letterboxd, I will be following all of you. I already follow you, Ethan, but you don't follow me. That is a
whoa!
That is
Are you serious? That's a crazy shout. What
Holy
the heck?
Shit.
You're gonna end the pod with that? Come on, Palcher. That was insane.
Ryan still has to go, but yeah.
Okay, well, he's not wrong, but I did just follow you, Palcher. That's insane. I feel genuinely like an asshole right now. That's crazy. Okay, well, yeah. Well, I'll see you on Letterboxd now, Adam. That's great. Ryan, what about you? If people want to find more of you, where can they find you at?
Holy fucking shit, that was great. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd, Blue Sky at Ryan McQuade 77. You can find all my work at awardswatch.com. If you like podcasts, if you like listening to them, we have the Awards Watch podcast, where it's like literally in the middle of award season. So we're going to be talking about all that stuff. And by the time you're listening to this, it'll be like, I guess it'll be like in October. So it'll be post New York and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
If you like director series, please go and listen on our podcast feed to Director Watch. It's myself and Jay Ledbetter. We're in the middle of an Ozu film series, and I'm going to give Ethan and the listeners out there a shout out or a sneak. We are finishing the year with the Hughes brothers and then Claire Denis. So Ethan, that's an exclusive for you and your podcast listeners out there. So we have not announced those on our show even yet. But I like to do that on other people's shows just to give them a little something. So, but please, go follow everything over there, and iTunes, Spotify. 5-star reviews are greatly appreciated. And Ethan, thank you so much for having us all on here. I will be following everybody here. I haven't already followed everybody on here because I'm just meeting 2 of these people here for the first time, and they're lovely people. I will actually be unfollowing Ethan because of his treachery to Adam because of that. So
seems appropriate, honestly.
It only seems appropriate. And but
I was
once again for having me on, man.
No, I'm glad that all of you came on. I was going to tease that in a couple of weeks that we will have an exclusive Awards Watch guest panel to do a 2025 Oscars predictions draft. But I just might rescind that invitation if you unfollow me. So there's a lot at stake here.
No, you won't.
No, I won't because I need content, and I can't. I don't have the capacity
and also,
to.
You were telling me, Tiff, you're like, this is going to be the greatest show ever, and
it's true.
You, Eric, and Sophia are the best, and we need you on the show. And he was like,
I did,
and I was like, please stop.
I told you in confidence, though. Yeah, I told you in confidence.
Well,
That's crazy.
There was a handoff of money. It was real weird. It was just
Things got
too
crazy.
Inappropriate. Yeah.
Well, we'll see how that episode shakes out. But we've completed this episode, and thank you all for being here. Big thank you to Ben and Sophie for creating this show with me and co-hosting on occasion. Be sure to listen and subscribe to the Movie Draft Podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. We're also now on YouTube with videos, so you can follow or subscribe to us over there as well. New episodes will be released weekly on Tuesdays. We'll see you then.